Edward O. Plumber. It goes along the history back with my family, my grandfather and his dad. His dad's name was Nat Plummer. They, going back that history, they were real good brothers. That's how they claim each other's. And he used to often visit my grandpa, and I would just listen to them visiting. And that's how close the family were. And by clan-wise, I guess Marshall Plummer is my cousin, Shazade. That's how you would address them. And then also the late Edward O. Plummer, that he would come as a cousin to me as well. So, but I really support that, and I visualize that memorial, some kind of a memorial to be developed there at Interchange, the right there by Yatehi. And I was telling that to my grandson that that's how I visualize it, and that's how we honor him and respect him with all the community service that he had done for our people, the Navajo Nation, in our community. He was a well-known leader, and a lot of things, the legacy that he put there, you know, we all look up to him for his knowledge and some of the wisdom, the leadership wisdom that he shared with some of the people. Because I started attending a lot of these chapter meetings as small as I was, maybe about 11-year-old. And my grandpa used to go participate in those meetings a lot. So I used to listen to them talking, even though as little as I was, I would go play and then come back and I'll listen again, you know. And so I guess that's how I got involved. And I am the vice president for Coyote Canyon chapter. And I was reelected recently. So I really got to know within that 4 years that I've been there, the needs for our community people. And some of the things that was mentioned here by my president, Mary Ann, we do have a lot of concern with the roads, the repairs. And of course, those are, some of them are bus routes, and for the safety of our children. And that's what I just wanted to speak to. And also supporting the what was presented here by my grandson, Edwin Begay. And I would really appreciate it if you, the commissioner, really consider this and look at it to see what can be done, how we can put that honorable memorial or something for him there in remembrance of all the legacy, like I said, that he put, and the people that had a lot of respect for him, and we love him a lot in that community. So this is what I'm gonna say, and I just wanted to thank everyone again for listening to me. And if there's any question, I guess you can contact us at the Coyote Canyon chapter. So we'll probably leave a number with one of the person or the key person that we need to be in contact with. So thank you very much for letting me speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll look into the things, and if there's things we can do, we'll try to get them done, and we'll see where we go from there. But it's good that you come and let us know. So thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you? On behalf of the commission, welcome.
Yes, my name is Pauline Plummer. I'm the widow of former Vice President Marshall Plummer. And hello to everyone. My greetings to everyone. I actually came in support of my nephew, helping him in his support of redoing the Edward O. Plummer Interchange. I had known Edward for many, many years, him as being part of the State Highway Commission. And I know a lot of his work that he put in Eastern Agency on the Navajo Reservation. He worked for Navajo Nation in land investigation. He knew the land and Eastern Agency very well. And the Plumber and family and all have a very strong political background, and their father being the councilman from Coyote Canyon. And Edward may have made it up, but unfortunately, his interest in golfing was his main sport. And him living out in Crown Point when he was the Eastern Agency superintendent, he drove many miles to enjoy his sport, and that was his number one thing, was driving to Farmington or into Colorado to go golfing. And this is how he had a head-on collision on that 371. And unfortunately, I think he had many more things he could have done, you know. So just as well as my husband, Marshall, their brothers, 6 brothers, very well known on the reservation for their work on the reservation. So my biggest thing, I guess, is I've seen, although I live in Farmington, when Marshall retired from the tribal government, we moved to Farmington, and him being part of the Arizona Public Service out there at the coal mine, and we ended up there. But I do travel, like I say, just like Marianne was saying, we do travel those roads. And today, that's where I drove from Farmington. And I usually travel the back area on the Burnham Road. And I know there have been many work done on that road. And I also travel the Shiprock route and then the Interchange. The Interchange, I found, I saw the damage on the rails. It looked like somebody ran into it. And I just wanted...
Every day.
I know.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I always
Guardrails.
see the damages wherever
And,
you go.
If it wasn't for the guardrail, probably the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting, traffic is getting, it's increasing, it seems to be. But for today, I just want to, I'm pleased with my granddaughter. She's my granddaughter. Yes, and Mr. John Pinto is my brother-in-law, is married to my sister. So we seem to just be in that family where a busy family. So I appreciate it. It's the first time I have to say that I'm meeting in any kind of formal situation. I've been retired for so many years, but I'm familiar with Patty that worked with Marshall on many projects, and as him being county commissioner here in Gallup years before. So I appreciate your time and thank you. It's good to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your words. And just so everybody knows, this commission, since we've come on, and I said it's been some of us for 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, we make it a point to travel to each community. We don't just have the meetings in Albuquerque. We have gone all over the state because we want people to have a chance to come up and let us know. Again, I don't know how I can reiterate this strongly. We work for you. We're a commission that works for the people. So with that, is there any?
I recognize the mayor too.
President, Dr. Plumber walked in. I know she'd like to support the resolution. She's Linda Lovejoy's sister.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, we're waiting for that. The mayor of Gallup just joined us. Mayor, we're going to thank you again for sponsoring last night's reception. Good to see you again.
Mayor, on behalf of the commission, thank you for that reception. And thank you for the warm welcome that you give us every time that we come here. We enjoy coming here to Gallup. Welcome.
Thank you.
See, you didn't know you were
Oh my
walking
gosh.
into the podium.
I rushed from Crown Point, and you know how traffic goes this morning. I never realized it's so busy around this time in Gallup. So I'm sorry I had to come up the steps. Okay, deep breath. My name is Rita Capitan, and I hail from Crown Point, New Mexico. An hour from here, 60-minute drive. And I wanted to be here for the family of the late Edward Plumber. I'm a chapter president as well as, you know, a lot of other things I enjoy doing for my community in Crown Point. But we have two directions when we go to Gallup. We go through Coyote Canyon, which goes straight to the Ed Plummer intersection there, and in Yatahe. And the other way is to go through Smith Lake and Church Rock. And the other way is to go to the Rue and on to I-40. But I go through Coyote Canyon a lot and end up by the Edward Plummer intersection every time I go to town, which is 2 or 3 times a week. And this idea of getting the Edward Plummer intersection upgraded, I didn't hesitate. I wanted to help because Edward Plummer was the Eastern Agency superintendent years ago when I was much younger. Unfortunately, he was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. And so we lost a great man. He planned a lot of things, not only for Crown Point, but surrounding communities. And wherever, you know, he could go to the 31 chapters, he was always there for us. He was a great man. And so the intersection was named in his honor, you know, years ago. And we felt like it's been ignored all these years. And if you drive through there, there's, you know, guardrails that have been damaged years ago and hasn't been fixed. And it's just sort of an eyesore in that area. And it shouldn't be like that for a man who served his community members and, you know, the whole, even Gallup area. He was always wanting to be helpful in any way. And so please, if it's not already in your plans, DOT, New Mexico DOT, get it in there because we need to get that intersection fixed. You know, some nice landscaping, and we'd like to have a big sign erected there with his name. And he was also a veteran, we know that. And it's something that needs to be done soon because I feel that it's way overdue. We had the 31 chapters come together during the Eastern Agency Council meeting last fall, and so all the 31 chapters in this whole surrounding area had supported this. And so Ashwade ni kadoja. And thank you, Shanale, for inviting me to all these meetings when we got together for this reason. And although I felt like I was probably too late to say anything, thank God I came in time. Thank you so much for giving me the pleasure of talking to you all. Shades ice kidney shloki ani bashish chin to the jeetni to shanado tanapitni to shiche. That's my clan in Navajo. Thank you very much.
Time and making the trip over here, it's very much appreciated. And I'll tell you this, Mr. Plummer would be very, very proud to see all these people here in support. And
Yes.
it's good that you've all come together for a cause. And as I said earlier, you weren't here, our district engineer, Lisa Vega. She's going to assess everything out there and see where we're at. And there is gonna be some work happening out there. So they have her number and they'll be calling her, and some of her staff can give information, but we appreciate you being here.
One more thing, if we're talking about all the highways in New Mexico, Crown Point lives right there, so located right by Highway 371. Can I say something about Highway
You
371?
say whatever, you're here,
Okay.
you say.
Good, thank you. Highway 371, which is also known as the Veterans Highway from Theroux to Farmington. I've noticed that there's patches of work that was done, which is very appreciative for those who drive that highway all the time. But is that still, are the parts where it's not fixed, is that still worked on? Because from Vicente to Smith Lake, lots of problems there. And this morning I came through there, it's like a roller coaster ride. And there's one canyon that goes through there, which is between Smith Lake and Crown Point. We've had several very fatal accidents regarding the big trucks who run into the little cars. We had 2 fatal accidents within a year going through there that involved big trucks. And both, I believe both times there were somebody that got killed. And so that canyon going up that, the road going up that canyon is very dangerous. The roads need to be widened or something needs to be done there. It's always talked about during our chapter meetings.
Needs to be done, we'll try to get them. Interstates get federal money, and secondary roads, we depend mostly on state money. And we try to do the best we can, and we have our own crews, which is our heavy maintenance crews and our chip sealing crews who do, who do maintenance on our roads, on the roads that can be like chip sealed, or if they can go in and do some work. So we'll keep all that in mind, and like I said, if you see areas that you feel are dangerous or that, give Lisa or her office a call, and they'll go out and they'll assess it. Because I can guarantee you one thing, without a doubt in my mind, all these individuals here, whether it's snow, whether it's, and they're cleaning snow, their goal, or they're mowing, or they're patching, or they're putting up fence, and that's each and every day, I can guarantee you that they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure that those roads are as safe as possible for our traveling public. That's what they do, and that's why we appreciate them so much, because they're one of a kind. And I said this earlier, they're not here because of the money. It's a passion to do something good, because if it was for the money, they'd be working somewhere else. And so we appreciate them. We appreciate you coming, and we appreciate everybody coming, because the only way we're gonna know things is if you come and tell us. And so we appreciate that, and again, thank you for making the trip down here.
Santee and Smith Lake, that's the part that needs to be fixed. Every other areas, I think they're pretty much fixed, it looks like. Thank
Well,
you very much for your time.
Thank you, and you made
Appreciate
it
it.
just in time.
Yes, I did.
Is there anybody else?
Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Maybe Lisa can help with this. Off of 491 is 134 to Sheep Springs. Is that a state road?
Yes.
I don't know if it's in my district or Charles.
No, it's in District 6.
It's in 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any of the other roads? I think all of them that I can see are Indian Service roads.
That's correct.
So the intersection that they were talking about early on, and regarding lighting, where is that specifically? Do you know?
I believe they're talking about the interchange where it intersects with New Mex or US 491. The other thing about that is that the Navajo Nation and the NMDOT have an agreement. It's called a global agreement for the lighting, and that's to pay the utilities and maintenance or upkeep of the lights. So any lighting that needs to be done on the Navajo Nation, we have to get that agreement amended
I
to
see.
include that lighting. And then from there, it's a matter of getting funding for that project.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Chairman, I think just stepped away to use the restroom, and I was gonna just go ahead and move on down to Representative Lundstrom, but I think she's out too. So, let's see here. Yeah, if we wanna just, give it a little bit, I hate to jump too far ahead. Agenda, okay. Mr. Chairman, I think we finished up with public comment, and, Chairman Taylor got some questions answered. We're next at Representative Lundstrom's presentation, but she seemed to just step out for a minute as well.
Okay, she probably went where I went. I'm gonna give it about 2-3 minutes, and that way we can continue on the agenda.
Since we have the time.
The lighting that we're talking about, is that area lighting or is that traffic signals? Yeah, a lot of times power is an issue in some of those.
This
Hey, have fun with that.
But I do want to
Just be
talk
tough.
to you about the Allison crossing. We received the 45 million
Yeah,
for
the
it,
grade separation?
and the huge problems we're having.
Okay, okay. That sounds good.
$3 for us. And I always tell everybody this, even when you're not at the meeting. We can thank you for that permanent fund with the local government. It's money that's allocated to entities, cities, counties, and that's the only time that we can allocate money to roads that don't belong to us.
That's probably about right.
It's about $3-4 million, and then Representative Lundstrom and some of the other legislators, they have gone in there. That even when when we're in a flat budget, with that money is still there, and I think it's grown from 40 to 56, 58. It's at 6. Best because I'm already getting calls from counties, from cities, from villages saying, hey, how can we apply for that money? So thank you for that,
Thank you very much.
and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I want to give a shout out to these guys and to the whole staff that come in here and set up, and they do a fantastic job. And Christine there that keeps us all.
Planning Commission, just a couple of comments I'd like to make before we jump into the presentation. I'd like to thank Pauline for being here today. Served on the county commission. We worked together very closely, and one of the premier projects that we worked on was the Navajo Gallup Water Supply Project. which today is the largest today. And certainly, Mr. Chairman, for the nice comments that you always make. And welcome to Gallup. Proud to have you here, and certainly happy that you all are here to listen to our update. You asked me earlier this morning, whatever happened to that project that we had helped finance? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. 3 contracts with McKinley County and 1 with the city of Gallup to make this project happen. So it was a considerable investment a couple of years ago. When you talk about development of a trade port, it's all about using existing assets. And those assets in this case are transportation assets. Then develop what's called a value proposition of why would anybody ever want to come to a place like Gallup in McKinley County in terms of logistics, distribution. And in our case, here in this area, for this trade port, we've got a state-of-the-art heavy haul multi-use truck route, which this commission and the state of New Mexico paid for. That's Carbon Coal Road. That was over a $32 million investment, which the state was the lead on, and it's an excellent project. We're also looking at a hydrogen energy cluster. We're currently working on what is a hydrogen multi-fuel hub. This is what's being funded now. A foreign trade zone, which is the city of Gallup, where we're able to bring in U.S. Customs. And what we mean by the autonomous trucks and testing ground, you've seen where on TV where it says stop DWI, those kind of commercials where a crash dummy is strapped into a car. Tell you, what that impact is and what problems are associated with it. That's the kind of testing that is happening along with robotics and actual vehicles. And then, of course, the inland port facilities and operations. So the department, through the New Mexico legislature to the General Appropriations Act, sends money to DOT, and then DOT contracts with the city and county. Next. So the overview of the Trade Port Initiative, it started out with strategic planning, which the department has helped pay for. But what we have are some key partners in this. It's the county, it's the city, it's DOT. There's a steering committee of which Charles Remkes and Jerry Pacheco have served on for over 2 years. And those are DOT employees, as well as economic development and local participation. Strategic planning takes a while. You need to know where you're going as you're developing. So what we do as economic developers, we look at trends. I mean, it's our job to understand what's happening. There's a change, obviously, at the federal level now. There's a change in focus for onshoring, reshoring, and bringing manufacturing back to the country. And we think New Mexico is a good place to do that. For years and years, New Mexico has been considered a bridge state. That means everybody drives through New Mexico on I-40 or I-10, but you don't see any development happening. So what we're trying to do with the strategic planning is making sure that we're taking those transportation assets, highway, rail, and air, and turning those into strategies for trade, and primarily to help with supply chain disruption problems to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. So with our planning, we're looking at limiting risk, looking at new capacity, and trying to be proactive about these kinds of things. Next. So logistics hub development is what we're looking at here in McKinley County. It's just north of Gallup. Those of you who have been and seen Carbon Coal Road, that area has been recently annexed in by the city of Gallup now, so that's in city limits proper. Looking at the critical infrastructure that's needed, hence House Bill 19. House Bill 19 is the Trade Port Development Act. I had the honor to carry that bill. I was the primary sponsor this legislative session. And what that does, it creates the trade port districts. And most importantly, in my mind, it gives us an opportunity for public-private partnerships, typically known as P3s. The private sector comes in and can build something and then is able to recoup its costs through government payments. A good example of that, you'll see this often with higher ed. When a dorm is built, it's usually an outside entity that comes in and builds the dorm. And the service agreement or the lease payments that are paid for by the students or whoever uses those dorms is how they make their money in return for payment. So P3s, this is the first time, at least in my 25 years of serving in the New Mexico legislature, that we actually got a bill through that talks about authorization of public-private partnerships. That's a major tool inside of economic development work. We also established a trade port fund. We started out at 100 million, left the House at 90 million, left Senate Finance at 50 million, and so now it's in the General Appropriations Act for 50 million, and that is going to be actually administered by the Economic Development Department. They'll set up the guidelines and the rules for application, what the business plans have to look like if you're going to apply under the Trade Port Act, how P3 agreements would be set up, and the mechanism for state designation of trade ports. But I need to say that the driving force on this has been DOT. DOT has been an excellent partner in setting up these trade ports because of the infrastructure. At the end of the day, you don't have economic development in the state of New Mexico without good infrastructure, and that's driven by this department. And I've said that till I'm blue in the face. Any legislator or any committee that I serve on, it's about that. And it's about the maintenance of that infrastructure and making sure that it's planned properly, that it's properly funded, and that we're utilizing it to the best opportunity that we can achieve. But this trade port bill is also a collaborative effort. It has included 3 primary counties. It's McKinley, Bernalillo, and Doña Ana County. It's also included the city of Los Lunas. It's been Sandoval County, San Juan County, obviously the city of Gallup, and I think we had a couple more on the southern route. But what's happened is that the bill is now sitting on the governor's desk. We're asking for all the letters of support from these governments that think that they might have an opportunity to do something with trade. Particularly if you've got an airport with passenger service, which we do here in Gallup, you do in many other communities, or if you happen to have the opportunity for logistics, which is rail to truck or truck to rail. So the key elements of this trade port in what we want to report back to this commission is what have you been doing for the last couple of years and what have you been doing with our money. So the key elements are autonomous vehicle proving ground. That's the first piece. We all know what's happening with technology. And if you didn't know, we have had a company, it's called Torque, that was actually testing on I-40 that was from Albuquerque East. So if you think that, gee, driverless vehicles aren't happening, yes, they are. I mean, they're all over. They're all over the country now. And what better place than a place like New Mexico where rather than having them drive through, they're actually the R&D is actually happening here in New Mexico. And that's one thing that we'll be going after. And we've been, the team on the steering committee has been visiting different proving grounds throughout the country to get those best practices that we build into our construction plan. We also, I mean, it's about safety and safety validation when it comes to these vehicles being built. Do they work? Do we need to take it back to the drawing board? But we want New Mexico to be, and particularly, I want McKinley County to be the next Silicon Valley. I think we have that capability. We certainly have the infrastructure, the drive, and we have a very strong steering committee. Next. The hydrogen alternative fueling station piece is the next piece that goes into this overall trade port concept. We all look at new sustainable fuel options. We all know about electric vehicles, but the new movement is hydrogen. And I've carried a couple of those big hydrogen bills. They didn't see the light of day, but we did try. I did carry one for the governor a couple of years ago. She's very supportive of hydrogen development, as we are here in our area. But we want to see exactly how we might be able to developed. And will hydrogen be that fuel of the future? We think so. It's a clean energy. It meets the carbon standards. In other words, if we're trying to get to a certain level, the way you do that is you make sure you're moving from diesel to other fuels, so you're not polluting the air. And then, of course, innovative infrastructure. Years ago in Las Vegas, that's the National Congress of State Legislators. And it was interesting because when they look at infrastructure, we talked about how that affects thing like Albuquerque, and think about Central Avenue, what that would mean in terms of complete redesign if you're going to start dealing with autonomous vehicles and public transportation that's got more innovation to it. Next. So the foreign trade zone piece, this is the designation that Gallup is currently working on. And I'm real proud to say that National Foreign Trade Zone Association. There's a national association. I mean, those are guys like the Port of Houston, the Port of Long Beach, the Port of New Orleans, the Port of Chicago, and we got Gallup in there now. And they went to their first meeting in January to find out how we can take advantage of FTZs in a place like Gallup, where we're breaking down cargo. We have a customs agent here that actually starts looking at what gets moved through a distribution system. So it's a hub and spoke type concept where we're sending the freight out. Next. So this is what we came to the commission, 5-6 years ago, and the animals, road runners and what have you. This is what Carbon Coal Road looked like in pre-construction. This is what it looks like now. Heart of the trade port. The heart of the trade port is Carbon Coal Road. Let's go to the next one. This is a $30 million investment. It's designed for 1,000 trucks. It's 5 miles in length. It's 4-lane. It's 8-foot wide shoulders. There's turning lanes. It's owned by the county. It's a county road, but it's maintained by a private sector, Gallup Land Partners. And what it does is help provide improvements to US 491. We heard about that earlier. This is the intersection that if you're coming south on 491 and you turn left, you're going over to the flea market area. You turn right, you're going right onto Carbon Coal Road. So we want to show the commission what the plan is. This is just like the Academy Awards. Hit it. This is the virtual tour. You can see 491 north and south from Gallup. This is the road that folks here were talking about. Coming right off of 491, you'll find the multi-fuel station. There's a proposed IHS Gallup Indian Medical Center. The office complex is what's owned by McKinley County. There's plans for some residential development out there where you need housing in our area. There is already solar field negotiations and contracts. This is where the AV test track is planned to be built. There's my car. No, that's not my car. Then the Gallup Energy Logistics Park. We have an existing rail loop now, and the kinds of companies that my office works with are agribusiness, fertilizer, dry warehouse, oil and gas refining, transloading, aluminum, smelting, processing, steel processing, resin processing, advanced manufacturing, and rail car maintenance. Methanol production, the AV track ecosystem means all the R&D piece. I think on the next one we'll have music. We'll have some 80s rock music to go with this. But I just wanted to say that the group's been very, very busy. The steering committee's been working for almost 2 years on this. Done tons of site visits. We've done tons of testing. We've had a major roundtable in Santa Fe that happened in February, and where we had participation from DOT, economic development, and some of the world-class experts in the country when it comes to an ecosystem around testing and what transloading looks like. But this is the perfect location. If you guys haven't been out there to see Carbon Coal Road, I'd ask you to drive out there and look at it. There's lots of big plans for it, and with the help of DOT, we've had the funding to get to where we are today. Now with the trade port bill means that we can set up a district, us in our area as well as Bernalillo County and Doña Ana County. And the key is it's not really as competitive as folks think because our market is different. The market that we have in McKinley County is very different than what you have in Bernalillo County. I can't tell you what it is because I know those guys are listening right now and they're sneaky and will try to steal my projects. So I'm not gonna bring that up now, but I'm telling you, I know they are, and they're sneaky about that. There's also been a project in San Juan County regarding a short line railroad. They've talked about that for 30 years. When I was a COG director many years ago, that was a project I worked on 30 years ago, assigned to me at that time by the mayor. And we could not make the economics work. We might be able to do it now. We'll take another look at that as a piece of the McKinley-Gallup trade port. But we've had some great support with the city manager, the city attorney, the county manager, the mayor, here locally, as well as you guys. And I don't think you realized how much you participated in this. If we hadn't received the funding for those 3 contracts to get us off the ground, we wouldn't be anywhere where we are today. And we led the charge for the trade port bill this session. And I'd stand for any questions.
On board, I was working with you on a lot of this, and I was very excited, and I think our goal at the time when we were meeting was that everything's headed to autonomous. And it was better to be ahead of it than behind it.
Yes.
And that's why you had been spearheading this move. And I was gonna ask you, like on the trade port, as we had discussed before, there's already autonomous semis that have been going back and forth.
Yes.
And the way that I envision it is that this trade port, instead of a truck stop, is gonna be that when these trucks come in, instead of servicing the trucks, they'll be servicing the computers and making sure that everything is up to it'll be just like a truck stop, but there'll be different maintenance and different services being done at this trade port, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and it's also about jobs. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we need in McKinley County. We need jobs. And I think that's the case in these other counties that have been participating with us. And we want to bring the trades back. I mean, it's clear what the message is at the federal level. We want to bring manufacturing back. We need to bring the trades back. And also the high skill positions of advanced manufacturing like you're talking about when it comes to, it's not about, mechanics necessarily anymore. It's about understanding how a sensor works in the computer and how sensors are redesigned. So we're pretty proud of where we're at now, and we appreciate the help we've got from the DOT. Ricky knows about this, as well as Jerry and Charles Remkes.
And you know that even on our in our maintenance, our mechanics are dealing now with the latest technology, and a lot of our equipment has to be sent out to shops because the technology and the computer systems are constantly changing so that we can't service them ourselves. And so we just got to keep up with all this.
Let me tell you, Mr. Chairman, when I think about just what's happened with the way cars are designed today, my brother and I learned how to drive on a stick shift. What was that? My dad had I think it was a Ford 150. And so we got to learn how to drive on that. So if you couldn't wrench your neck around quick enough to see what's behind you, you could get in trouble. But in today's trucks, you get in one of those trucks today, it's a computer screen here that you back up and it tells you exactly where you're at. The camera tells you when to turn, what to do, that kind of thing. I don't particularly like those kind of cars because I'm still old school in what I drive. But everybody else I know has those kinds of vehicles now. You can get behind the wheel and hope it gets you where you need to be.
You know where the autonomous is in my vehicle? My wife. Watch that car, watch the turn, or do you miss that sign? So, yeah, so.
Well, when I saw for the first time now, I asked folks if they know how to, drive a non-automatic vehicle, and they look at me like, "Are you crazy?"
Mr. Chairman, I just want to congratulate Representative Lundstrom for getting this bill out. It was Saturday morning, I think at 10 o'clock. The last day of the session, I was there, I heard the debate, and you and Senator Gonzalez did a good job, congratulations. And then I just wanted to thank you because not only did you work on the bill and get it pre-filed, I believe you worked with us and Economic Development and the other agencies so that we could get our eyes on it, provide you with some input, share our concerns, and then it morphed into something that we really, didn't have any issues with. But I do like to share, especially when we're invited to talk about it nationally, that DOT is one of the few agencies, if not the only, that's demonstrating the capacity to do P3 work, and that's predominantly in the area of EV charging station infrastructure. Our partnerships with the private sector who identify private or public properties to install and maintain and operate for 5 years is as close as it gets now, and having seen your bill, it'll open up some more opportunities. And your example about vertical construction, I think, is where there'll be even more opportunities for the state.
I think so too, Mr. Chairman, because DOT has a 5-year construction or planning window when it comes to your projects. There's some that the private sector would like to see move more quickly, particularly, say, like railroads or something. They'd like to say, gee, let us come in here and get this done so we can continue, because time is money for these big companies, and let's try to get these things done. But it's usually around your infrastructure. And that's why this P3 piece inside the bill is so critical. For 15 years, we've been trying to get a P3 bill through. So now we got it snuck in, so to speak, into a different bill. And maybe next year we'll be able to expand it further. But I thank you again, and thank you for your
all you do
support.
for us. Before you sit down, and I know the Secretary is going to talk about this later, but since you're both here, I want to give a big thanks to the governor and to the legislature, because I think this year we're going to be getting or you guys will be getting a 4% increase. And I can tell you that that's huge, and that's what we fight for, is because I was telling Representative Lundstrom I was here for 42 years, and there was years that check to check we're on survival mode, and your insurance is going up, and we wouldn't even get an increase, and the insurance went up, so all of a sudden you're looking at your check and you're $30 less, and so these 4%, that's huge. I mean, there used to be 2%, 1%, and so I'm glad for the employees that they got that, and hopefully in the future we can get them more. Every time I go to a meeting and I speak before legislators, I say, please get these guys more money, and you guys came through, and so I want to thank you. I know they'll thank you, and so when you see them, thank them, because that's a little bit more. It's still not, I know where it needs to be, but it's a little bit more. So with that, thank you, and I wanted to make sure that you were here when they heard that.
Just one final comment, Mr. Chairman. I just again want to stress your department is critical for economic development. There is no economic development in the state of New Mexico without infrastructure. You guys are critical on that, and that's why you deserve the support. And I appreciate your willingness to step out of the box, so to speak. With past DOT commissions, it's always been, oh, well, we're just working on what we're working on. that this project and the result is House Bill 19 demonstrates your willingness to work outside of the box, look at new opportunities to help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I say something before Representative Lundstrom steps
Yes,
down?
Commissioner Chenoweth, go
Can you
ahead.
hear me? Thank you. I would like to thank Representative Lundstrom for her leadership, both at the legislative session with House Bill 19 and in economic development in general. I'm just so super impressed. We saw this first presentation on this trade port concept during my first year, I believe, on the commission. And to see how far it's come is just a testament to just an indomitable will that she has and leadership. So thank you, because our entire state needs this. So I appreciate the impact that you are having. And I also agree from an economic developer's perspective that there is no economic development without infrastructure. And the collaborative nature of this House Bill 19 demonstrates that. I really appreciate all the work that went into it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner
may I
Tonjes.
say a few things?
Yes,
This is Gary Tonjes, District 2. I'm very upset with Commissioner Chenoweth for jumping in front of me because she said it far better than could I. But just kudos. One, thank you for a great presentation today. But I was going to go along the same line just to thank Representative Lundstrom for exceptional service and leadership in this state on a number of issues, most of them that I watched closest on economic development, and she has just been a great champion in that regard. Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions, comments from other commission? Commission,
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Chairman.
thank you. And it looks like you have support from this commission. Seems like. Thank you. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the District 6 update. Lisa, and before you start your presentation, I would like for District 6 Commissioner Lundstrom to say a couple of words on his district.
Sure, I'm gonna stand up here, Mr. Chair. Again, thank you guys for all coming. I know it's tough in the middle of the week and everybody's got allergies and, you know, it's getting to the end of school. I'm sure your kids are ready to get out of school and looking forward to everything. It's really neat that you came to Gallup. We try to get, like the chairman said, we try to get all around the district and then all around the state so everybody can be represented. This commission is your commission, the public's commission. So if you don't, you know, interact, we have a hard time. We get the stuff that you give us and then we try to make it work the best we can. We're really happy with our legislators on them helping us, the pueblos and the tribes. They come along together with us as well. You know, there's always needs in billions, but we have millions, so we try to do the best we can as far as making it work. Here in District 6, I know our guys have been really busy. We had some snow. I get nothing but compliments on it. Sometimes I get complaints, but I always ask them, hey, it's, you know, you got to crack some eggs to make an omelet here. If your road's torn up, we're going to try to make it better. Well, we do that all the time. You know, as far as the projects go, I know Lisa's on top. There's lots of familiar faces working on stuff. I see everybody out all the time. So again, I'm glad you guys are here and thank you guys, all the employees. You do a great job. And that's kind of where it's at with us here in District 6. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and thank you for your representation of District 6, which you do very well. Lisa,
Right. Good morning.
good morning, welcome.
Yes, good morning, Chairman Adams and members of commission and D6 employees, as well as all of our dignitaries that are here. I'm happy to be hosting this meeting in Gallup, and again, thank you to UNM for hosting us, and also to the City of Gallup for sponsoring our reception last night. That was really, really good food. So if y'all didn't get to go, you missed out. Just to talk a little bit about District 6, we are headquartered in Milan, New Mexico. We encompass McKinley, Cibola, portions of Catron, Sandoval, San Juan, Rio Arriba, Valencia, and Socorro counties. We serve 22 local governments, 7 tribal governments. We have approximately 3,467 lane miles. We cover about 20,640 square miles. We have 132 road miles of I-40. We have 4 U.S. routes and 2 rest areas. And in District 6, our budget responsibility is we have an operating budget about 21 million, ongoing construction contracts of 168 million, contract maintenance of 8.4 million, field supplies of 5.8 million, striping and signing of 1.3 million, rest area and maintenance improvements about 372,000. Our IT budget is 251,000. And in District 6, kind of our employee breakdown here, we have 144 maintenance employees spread over 12 maintenance patrols, 4 district crews, and of course our district support staff. In construction, we have 51 employees spread over 4 project offices, our district lab, our audit sections, and of course the district support staff as well. In business management, we have 39 employees. And under them, we have risk management, human resources, our equipment section, and our administrative section. In engineering support, we have 13 employees. In engineering support, there's our traffic section, our district design, local governments, and our bridge. So that gives us 247 permanent employees, and then we also have 5 temporary college and high school interns. Our current vacancy rate is 7.69%, so that's about 19 employees or 19 positions. And getting into District 6 staff, I'll have everybody introduce themselves, but let me just get through our staff here. Angela Baca is our business manager, Kirk Weber, our ADE for construction, Ron Romero is our ADE for maintenance, Jenny Gallegos is my administrative assistant, and our ADE engineering support, Arif Kazmi, and our public information officer, Delane Barros, recently retired effective March 1st, so we will definitely miss them. And of course, our transportation commissioner is Charles Lundstrom. We're very thankful to have him because he definitely helps out and gives us a lot of support. So if I could have D6 employees stand up. So we'll go ahead and start on this side and start with introductions.
Good morning, Jeff Gato, Tech Supervisor for the Milan Product Office 1, with the DOT going on 11 years.
Good morning, Elias Montalvo, Engineering Tech, Milan Product Office 1, Good
Morning, everyone. Well, located Milan Product Office 1, District for about 1 year now. Morning,
Good morning, I'm Alfonso Lopez. I'm the project manager out of Milan Product Office 1. Been with the NMDOT about 21 years.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tommy Chavez. I'm with the District Lab. I'm the District Lab Supervisor, and I've been with the District Lab going on 11 years.
James Martinez, Local Government Supervisor. Been with the department for 24 years.
Ty Bigay, Engineering Technician 3, my lawn project office. Alfonso Lopez, my project manager.
Miguel Montoya, Project Office 1, Engineer Tech 1, or 2. Been here about 3 years.
Good morning, Celestino Trujillo. I've been with Milan Project Office 1 for about 10 years, and I've Engineer Tech 2.
Good morning, Eugene Hosty, AMS. I've been here too long, many years.
Good morning, Jeremy Madrid, AMS, Southern Patrols, 14 years with the DOT.
Good morning, Efren Sandoval. I'm with Milan Project Office 2. I'm an Engineering Tech 2.
Good morning, Robert Darby. I'm a project manager at Milan Project Office 2. I've been with the department 24 years.
And Jason Carlson, I work at the District 6 lab, been here for about 17 years.
Good morning, Hadrian Gonzalez, District 6 lab. I'm a technician 3 there, and I have 7 years experience.
Good morning, I'm Max Bars with the District 6 Lab. I'm the current record sampler, been in the department going on 10 years.
Good morning, my name is Joel Adives. I'm with Milan Project Office 1. I've been here 4 years. I'm a Tech 3.
Good morning, Stephanie Pata. I'm the PM2 for District 6, and I've been here about 12 years.
Good morning, Rachel Romero. I'm with the Audit section, and I've been here for 10 years.
Good morning, I'm Ebony Chavez, and I'm with the Audit section, and I've been here for almost 2 years.
Good morning, I'm Samantha Leek, and I'm with the Audit section, and I've been here for 2 years.
Good morning, Kirk Weber, ADE Construction. Been here a short while. I was here a long time ago, but I just know we have real good teams.
James Casals, Cuba Patrol, Assistant to the Supervisor. I've been here for 5 years.
Gabriel Lucero, one of the lead workers, been 4 years with the Cuba Patrol.
Jonathan Lovato, operator for Cuba Patrol. Been here about 4 years.
Joseph Pacheco, an operator, been here for 17 years.
Mitchell Goulet, operator, I've been here for about 2 years. Dominic Martinez, Cuba Patrol, been here going on a year, so yeah.
Cole Reynolds, highway and maintenance worker for Cuba Patrol, I've been here for about 4 years.
Randy Trio, Cuba Patrol, been here 2 years.
Anna Hamilton, Risk Management Supervisor, and I've been here about 11 years.
Good morning, Ron Romero, Assistant District Engineer for Maintenance. I have about 11 and a half years. I was here previously, then came back, so I'm glad to be back.
Good morning, Jason Grover, Traffic Engineer in District 6, 14 years.
Thomas Council, Pavement Preservation Supervisor, been here about 7 years.
Marissa Montoya with Risk Management. I've been with the DOT for about 5 years.
Manuel Lucero, Cuba Patrol Supervisor, going on 12 years now.
Andrew Chavez, Rest Area Supervisor, been here 16 years.
Peter Salazar, AMS for the Northern Patrols. I've been here about 15 years.
Good morning, Angela Baca. I'm the Business Manager for District 6, and I've been with DOT for over 24 years.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Chavez. I'm the District Administrator, and I've been here for 26 years.
Good morning, Amanda Garcia. I'm the Purchasing Supervisor, and I've been with the department 13 years.
Good morning, Kenneth Martinez, Engineering Tech 2, Gallup Project Office 2. Been here about 3 years.
Good morning, Delphine Mexicano, Project Manager, Gallup Project Office 2. Been here 10 years.
Good morning, Daniel Bitsy from the Gallup Project Office 2. I've been employed with the DOT for 7 years now. Thank you.
Good morning, Kyle DeArmond, Engineering Tech 1 out of Gallup Project Office 2. Been here just over a year now.
Hello, Greg Pat, Gallup Project, our Project Manager, Office 1. Been here with 21 years.
Good morning, Victor Yanis, Engineering Tech 3, Gallup Office 2. Been here for 2 weeks now.
Good morning, Jose Sanchez, Engineering Tech 3 out of Gallup Project Office 2. Been here 6 years now.
You know how you can tell the new ones. Anybody with 20 years, I'd say roughly. I don't remember. It's been anybody with 20 years or more. Were probably here, and it's right around that time when it was still the highway department. Anybody after that, then they changed it to NMDOT. So before we were the highway department back in maintenance. When I started, they used to have maintainer 1, maintainer 2. Now they went to basic, operational, advanced. When I was in construction, it was 8-1, 8-2, Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3. So we've come a long way, and everything was orange. All the cars, every vehicle we had was orange. Now I see everybody in white vehicles, which is nice, and different colors. So we appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope, especially I saw a lot of them young ones here with 4 years, 3 years, make this a career. Stay with us. Believe in us. Help the people of this state. And we're a family here. And the reason that people stay is not, again, I'm going to say this again, not because of the money. It's because of the friendships and the family atmosphere that we have. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to work. And so I thank you for being here. This commission applauds you, thanks you, and stay with us. I hope if we come back next year, we see most of you again. Like I said, now that I'm going around, all the people I started with and that I worked with, no longer. And I'm now seeing grandkids and all that have taken over. So it's good to have you here. Lisa?
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, moving on. All right. I just wanted to highlight some of the training that we've done in District 6. We've done some effective leadership skills for supervisors, our in-house flagger training. In the in-house flagger training, we have 2 employees who went and got certified to be instructors. So every person that gets hired and is in operations will actually go through that flagger training. We have traffic control supervisor and technician, OSHA 10. We had supervisor training, which our district HR and business management section actually put together for all of the supervisors to kind of help them out and know what the processes are. And then, of course, in our construction section, we do have something that we call winter mentoring that has been going on since my predecessor was the assistant district engineer for construction. So in that, we actually define some areas that our sections need help in, some of our employees, and we're able to actually put training together. And what's interesting about this is that the people that are performing the training are more seasoned employees. And during the year, they actually act as mentors for the students that went through the training. So the new employees that were lucky enough to get hired when the winter mentoring was going on, they actually got to go through all of these classes that we had, which were 13 classes. And of course, ACNM is a great partner in that, and some of these classes were classes that we actually brought them to the district for. So that's just something that I had wanted to mention. In this slide here, we have our District 6 House Bill 2 funding. The map shows basically all of those projects that we had, and they're color-coded with the years of funding that we received. So we're very thankful to the legislature for giving us this funding because we definitely need it, and it does definitely help us on our roads. And just kind of go through some of our District 6 needs. We have 4 major investment projects that are currently unfunded that really would go a long way into helping our infrastructure. And then, of course, as we build new infrastructure, we definitely need to maintain what we build. And part of that would be projects for maintenance to keep our good roads good. So we have about $35 million worth of maintenance needs that are listed here. And then moving on into construction, just kind of wanted to highlight some of the things that are going on in our construction section. This dedicated team manages our multi-million-dollar projects with a commitment to quality materials and workmanship. They collaborate seamlessly to ensure the success of every project. From initial planning stages to the finalization of the documentation, they consistently deliver outstanding results. So these are our ongoing construction projects. So these are projects that are ongoing right now. We have about $128 million worth of those type projects. And then, of course, our projects that have been completed, we have about $40.5 million of projects. And these projects are actually open to the traveling public and are at different stages of finalization with each of our crews. And then moving on into change orders over 100,000. I'm not sure how much information you guys want me to go into on this, but we were asked to put this together. In that first change order is just basically there was some changes to the soil mixing that required us to increase that quantity. And then, of course, that second one there, the contractor had filed a notice of intent to claim. We sat down, met with them, and found that there were some costs that were eligible for them to. So we were able to get that worked out, and that change order is for that. The third change order was to establish work associated with rock excavation on that project. And basically it was to install a storm sewer, and rock wasn't anticipated to be in that location. And then the fourth change order there was to establish an item for a wage decision. We had to change order in the correct wage decision for that project. And so that cost is associated with that change. The last change order was to increase HMA SB3 complete, and that was due to a change in the typical section of that project. So moving on onto maintenance. Now, maintenance is definitely something that they're our largest section within the district, and they go from fighting snow to repairing potholes, performing blade patching, mowing, and they basically handle all of the essential tasks we need in order to keep our roads safe and well maintained. So this picture here is of our new screening plant. So our pavement preservation team is leading the way in this innovative approach. We are processing our stockpiled millings into surface treatment aggregate used for chip seals. So this forward-thinking solution, of course, not only optimizes our resources, but also showcases our commitment to efficiency and sustainability. So none of this would have been possible without the invaluable support of our executive staff and leadership, and definitely of Rick Padilla. So thank you, we appreciate that. So these were our fiscal year 24 contract maintenance projects, and these projects are all complete. And, oops. And this is our fiscal year 25 contract maintenance projects, and these are projects that are currently under construction now. Just wanted to also highlight some of the accomplishments of our maintenance team. They, like I said before, they do a lot to keep our roads safe and well maintained, and so these are just some of the things that they do throughout the year, and things that come up, and maintenance is something that is there's never a slow time in maintenance. Either you're preparing for winter or you're preparing for spring and summer. So there's definitely a lot of work that goes into that. Okay, moving on into our engineering support section. I know this section is definitely helps us with planning ahead and keeping all of our projects moving forward and keeping our construction staff busy. They definitely have a hard job because they have our district targets, and of course they're designing projects to stay within those targets but still meeting all of the needs. They offer technical support when required, and within that technical team is our traffic section, who reviews permits. They review traffic studies and provide assistance to both our construction and maintenance crews as needed. So these are our projects currently in design, and I'm glad to see that this list is full here, because these are projects that'll keep our construction crews busy and of course helping to fix the roads that we have out there. And of course, moving on into our local projects or our local governments and helping them with their projects, something that we love to do is seeing something our local governments want, and then seeing that come to fruition is definitely something that we enjoy seeing at the district. So these are our fiscal year 24-25 transportation project funding, and this funding was put in place by legislature, and it's to help our local governments complete their projects. And then we also have a local government road fund, which a lot of our local entities also put in for, and these are those projects that are for the fiscal year 24 and 25. And then just to kind of give everybody an idea of how vast these projects cover the district, this is a map that shows our transportation project funding and our local government road fund projects that are throughout the district. So you can see that we actually touch pretty much every community in our district, which is very gratifying. And of course, local government collaboration, this is something that we definitely strive to do as well. You know, we want to work with our local governments, we want to keep them going, and just kind of wanted to talk about some of these projects that we've had. So what's pictured is at the left is the Hamish Path Wellness, which was a multi-use pedestrian trail that runs alongside New Mexico 4 through part of the Pueblo of Jemez and connects the Pueblo's community center, schools, housing, and government offices, as well as providing safe, accessible, and attractive bicycle and pedestrian facilities for people of all ages and abilities. So NMDOT supported the multi-use trail through approximately a $6.7 million federal funding that was from the Recreational Trails, Transportation Alternatives, and Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Improvement programs. So what's pictured there in the middle is a weather station that was constructed at the airport in Zuni, New Mexico. NMDOT funded a $480,000 weather station at the Pueblo's airport to restart emergency medical flights that serve the community. So between April 2023 and June of 2024, the Pueblo of Zuni faced a healthcare crisis when approximately 200 critical care flights were denied due to insufficient weather reporting capabilities and lack of instrument approach procedures. So the new installation will serve as the official weather station for the Zuni community, transmitting meteorological data to the Federal Aviation Administration and National Weather Service every 20 minutes. So this regular reporting will significantly enhance weather forecasting accuracy for that entire region. And the last picture there on the right is of Roosevelt Avenue in Grants, New Mexico. So this was a construction project that was on New Mexico Highway 547, which is Lobo Canyon Road, and Roosevelt Avenue, and located within the city of Grants, and was a $1.5 million project funded through FHWA. The project included reconstruction of sidewalks to the ADA Act standards, driveways, intersection drainage, signing, striping, traffic signal, roadway lighting, and within that intersection. Project construction began January 2024 and reached substantial completion in October of 2024. So moving on to employee recognition, which I think is not only my favorite, but I think everybody else's. But I am incredibly proud that what we've been able to achieve over this past year. Our success is a direct reflection of our employees and their dedication, their hard work, and of course, without them, we wouldn't be here where we're at today. So it's a direct reflection of the success that each section has. So each individual's contributions matter and definitely play a vital role in the overall success of our team. So we do have a committee within District 6 that several of the District 6 employees volunteer to do, and it's called our engagement committee. And the purpose of that committee is to kind of help to engage our employees, kind of help morale, and definitely get us to start interacting with each other. You know, after COVID, when we were all at home and remote work and things like that, it took a little bit of getting used to be back in the office and be back with everybody. So we had something that we called Food for Thought, which was really innovative idea. It was basically lunch, an informal lunch that the engagement committee put together for me and my staff to meet with several crews at a time. So we had we had different crews come in, and it was just a way for them to be able to tell me what their concerns were, if they had any questions, if they were unsure of a procedure, if they wanted to know how a certain procedure worked or why we were purchasing certain equipment. This gave them the opportunity to ask those types of questions, and I thought it was a really good idea, and I'm hoping that we can do it again this coming year. Of course, we had our Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. Within that week, we did a Zippy coloring sheet contest. We did the completion of Zippy. So we were challenged to build a roadrunner from basically our traffic control devices. So our Cuba Patrol put together our Zippy. We got it delivered to the department, to our district in Milan. And I am happy to say that District 6 won that competition. We had 2 open houses with 2 elementary schools, And I think that's a really good way to kind of interact with the community that we're in, and also gives a chance for the kids to see what we do. You know, we got to plan for our future, and we definitely want to make sure that these kids know that the department is there, and that when they grow up, it's maybe something, a career choice that they can make. We had our HEA had their first annual golf tournament, which was a huge success, and I'm hoping that we are able to continue that. We had our service and safety awards. The Grants Patrol actually participated in the July 4th parade there in Grants, New Mexico, and that's what's pictured there in the corner. So we had our Zippy the Roadrunner make his first debut there at the parade in Grants. We had our District 6 Equipment Rodeo. We had our Health and Wellness Day. It's another idea of our engagement committee. We had our D6 Christmas Luncheon, where our engagement committee, the Equipment Rodeo, and HEA all got together, and we put together a luncheon for all of our District 6 employees. And what was really nice is that each employee got a ham, so that was something that we were able to do. And then, of course, the latest thing for St. Patrick's Day was our cook-off for the cruise. So all the engagement committee members actually got together, and they made the sacrifice of tasting all of the delicious food that was prepared by the different crews, and we did actually get some winners of that, so that was a lot of fun.
I think that's good that you're going into the schools. I think that's recruitment, and we're always looking for recruitment and then retention, but I think it was last week, Adam, our District 4 engineer, and I were meeting with some city officials on a project there on Main Street. And we had a lady that pulled over, and she said, "Can I talk to you guys?" And she said her son was graduating her grandson was graduating in May. And for the last 5 years, all he talks about is working for DOT. So Adam told him, "Come on by and we'll show you how to apply, and we'll, send you to HR, and they'll tell you how to look for the jobs." And so I think all that is great. That's a great recruitment tool, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. And then next, of course, was our equipment rodeo. So this is definitely a friendly competition between all the patrols and all of our operators to showcase their skills. And, we had our district competition, and up on top of the slide there is all of the winners of that competition. And then the first, second, and third place winners actually go and compete in a statewide competition, which, all of the patrols all over the state are able to compete against each other. So I'm, very proud to say that District 6 did win second place, and then we had 4 individuals that placed at the statewide competition. So this is definitely something that we look forward to every year. And then our District 6 Best Patrol was Cuba Patrol. The crew members are Manuel Lucero, who's the supervisor, James Casaus, Gabriel Lucero, Mitchell Grule, Cole Reynolds, Jonathan Lobato, Joseph Pacheco, Randy Trujillo, and Dominic Martinez. And, I think this crew definitely thrives on challenges, consistently rising to meet them with their determination, coming within just 0.2 of a point of winning the statewide competition for Best Patrol. I think that shows a lot to their dedication and commitment to the job. Their success comes from the pride they take in their work and the teamwork as they come together to work together toward the goals that we place in front of them. So thank you, Cuba Patrol.
It means a lot. It means that the crew that we put together here takes a lot of pride in their work. And it's nice being that so far from the district, we get recognized. They're family. These boys are like family. You spend a lot of time here with them during snow removal hours, spend more time here, holidays. We call ourselves a family. Serving a community like Cuba, it's rewarding. It is rewarding because from the road problems that were in the past to the recognition we're getting now, even from the locals, it means a lot. the product that we're putting down on the road is for the traveling public and for the families. It's not just about the DOT family, but we think about that kid in the car seat that's traveling these roads. We do appreciate the opportunity that we got to run for Patrol of the Year, and hopefully in the future we'll do it again.
Okay, next I'm proud to recognize our 2024 Employee of the Year, Jose Sanchez, who works with our construction section at the Gallup Project Office 1. Jose is one of those employees that's always first to work and the last to leave to make sure that all of his work is done accurately and completely. His commitment to quality demonstrates his determination to uphold the integrity and excellence of our projects. That commitment to quality of materials and workmanship ensures that our contractors deliver projects to the highest standard.
Feels good to be recognized for the work that I've accomplished and done while I'm here at the department. When I saw the email, I was kind of like, the heck, how'd I get this? It means a lot. It means that I'm actually excelling at my job, which I honestly really enjoy my job. It's a really good feeling. Well, day to day during the construction season, you come in, I go out to the field, I try to make sure the contractor's doing everything per the plans, the specs and contract book, and make sure they're following everything according to the plan. I'm not afraid to ask questions when I don't understand things, no matter how complex or simple it is. I want to make sure I do the best of my ability. The crew is everything to your success. If you have a good crew with you and good people with you, starting from your project manager all the way down to your tech ones, if you have a good crew of people with you, you can accomplish just about anything. And it's because of them I'm getting recognized. They were a help throughout the whole process. It's definitely a boost in morale knowing that whatever we accomplish and do throughout the years that you're here, that you will get recognized.
Okay, and our 2024 Supervisor of the Year is Thomas Council. He's our pavement preservation supervisor responsible for performing chip seals. Despite being relatively new to his role, Thomas has shown remarkable enthusiasm for learning and growing as a supervisor. His commitment to continuous improvement and dedication to excellence makes him a standout leader deserving of this recognition.
Kind of humbling, I guess, shocked. I'm only be a supervisor for a year now, coming up to next month. My team is, without my team, we wouldn't make nothing, wouldn't make it at all. We all help each other out, we get the job done. I mean, we collaborate with each other. We ask each other questions. Do you think this is a good idea? Should we do this? Should we do that? I got a rag there and a sponge there, and then there's a bucket we can fill the water in. They're happy to work with me. I mean, I'm happy to work with them. We work on our equipment together. I'm out there with the guys all the time, helping them out. I like to be with them when we got stuff going on. I like to be out there with them. You know, if something comes up, you're there instead of dealing with it on the phone, trying to troubleshoot. You're there. This all came as a surprise to me, so I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Make our crew the best in our district, maybe the best in the state. I think working here is a really cool job. When I was a kid, this place was a highly respected place, and I still think it's a highly respected place. And I like working for the DOT. It's got a good reputation, and it makes me proud to work here.
Yes.
Is that related?
Yes.
Hey, so see what I'm saying about generation and I keep hearing, and all this is what I always say, we're an NMDOT family. Whether you're retired, whether you leave, I run into people that have been retired 15 years, people already in their 90s, and they still love to just stop and talk, and so I appreciate that, and I love to hear it on that.
Thank you, Chairman. And then moving on, last but certainly not least, we are proud to recognize our 2024 Crew of the Year, the District Lab. Leading this outstanding team is District Lab Supervisor Tommy Chavez, alongside his crew of Adrian Gonzalez, Jason Carlson, Max Barros, and Timo Martiz. This crew plays a vital role in ensuring quality assurance within our construction program. They provide essential support to all the construction crews, ensuring project field labs follow proper procedures and that all of the equipment remains accurately calibrated. Additionally, they step in to troubleshoot any discrepancies in testing results, and that helps to maintain the integrity of our operations. Beyond their technical expertise, this team brings an unwavering positive attitude to every task. Their commitment to excellence, attention to detail, and dedication to the success of our projects makes them truly deserving of this recognition.
We are an independent assurance program that do materials testing on federally funded projects here in District 6.
Then we'll get this here.
Very surprised, but at the same time, like very proud and honored. You know, we're a good, solid crew here. You know, I owe it all to my team, and I got the privilege of working with these guys for a good amount of time, and we work very well together. It boosted our morale, I feel, because, you know, within the last couple years of the department, there's been changes, people retiring. We got young personnel coming up and trying to fill in these positions. So it's a confidence booster. It's a morale booster. It makes you want to come and work hard. I go back to like the Michael Jordan, Larry Bird days. This is my dream team, you know, of this district. You know, I ask these guys to do something. They get the job done. They don't complain about it. They take pride in their work. They're trustworthy, they communicate, they're honest. Just everything I could ask for in a team. We're all one big family here in District 6, so, you know, us being able to be Crew of the Year, it's just not us just doing it, it's all hand in hand. We gotta work together well with our project offices, our upper management is there to support us as well. It takes involvement from all of us as a district. Just being part of a NMDOT family is an accomplishment in itself for my team. You know, we look at this as a career, not just an everyday job. We plan to retire from here. We look at the bright side of the things, the future end of it. It's just good to be part of this family. The DOT treats us good, and we're proud to give our hard work back for appreciation to them.
Yes.
I have a question for you. When you're testing cylinders, are you guys using pad caps, or how do you test them on the compression? Right. Because back I worked in the lab too, and back when we used to do it, we used to have this big old crock pot of sulfur. Remember that, John? And we'd smell like sulfur all the time, and you'd have to keep it going. And then you have to put it in there, and you let it set and break it and turn it around and break it. So see how things have come a long way? Smelled like boiled egg all the time.
Chairman,
Yeah, it's like boiled egg.
Chairman, I know you want to probably take pictures with the crews and for the employees that have had their recognition. We can do that whenever you feel the need.
Let's do it right after the change order update.
Oh, yes, sir.
We'll do the secretary update, the change order update, and then we'll take our pictures. And we'll take a break, because there's still a lot of food out there, and I hope you guys eat it. So, thank you very much. That was a great presentation. And kudos to your whole district and to your employees for a job well done.
Thank you, Chairman. If there aren't any questions, I am
Any
done.
questions from fellow commissioners?
Any timeline on filling that PIO position? The retirement is...
Christine, are you?
Excuse me? Okay, and then you got it.
Yeah,
Within a month,
technically the
maybe?
PIOs work for Christine.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I was gonna ask you, we have an assistant PIO here, right? I wanna thank you for all the coordinating you did, the snacks and everything. And like I said, it takes a team. Thank you for making this more enjoyable for all of us. Yeah.
I second that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. It's appreciated. I remember Senator Pinto. He was a good friend of mine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be focusing my report on the kind of summary of what went on during the legislative session. As you all recall, we went into the 2025 legislative session with two priorities for the district. The first of which was the authority to place speed cameras in construction zones. I want to thank Senator Gonzalez who carried that legislation. It essentially imposed fees for speeding and provided appeal measures on 4 different counts. The bill was introduced, signed to Senate Tax, Business, and Transportation Committee, where it did receive a due pass, but it was ultimately tabled in Senate Judiciary. I want to thank Steve and his team. They worked to modify the bill to try and get it reheard, addressing the concerns of the committee members, but we weren't able to get the committee to do that. The second bill was the State Transportation Commission Bonding Authority Bill, which allowed for you all to bond up to $1.5 billion for construction projects. This bill was amended in House Transportation and added, the connection to the STIP and the projects that would be bonded for, and added some annual reporting requirements, and it was approved there unanimously. It was approved unanimously in House Appropriations, and it passed unanimously on the House floor. It then passed unanimously in Senate Tax, Business, and Transportation, and then it was amended again in Senate Finance, and it added $70 million in recurring revenue to pay for the debt service on the bonds, and then it was voted on, and there was only one no vote in Senate Finance Committee.
Let me ask you a question. So we now have the 1.5 billion.
No, Mr. Chairman. So that took place on Tuesday, the last week of the legislative session, and it was then read out in the Senate floor on Wednesday, and the Senate did not hear the bill. It was skipped over on 2 separate days, and then pushed so far down the agenda on Saturday, the last day, that it was never heard. And so despite receiving support that would typically put this bill on a consent calendar for Senate consideration, it just never got heard. And so we're disappointed about that, and we're really perplexed and confused about why leadership on the Senate floor didn't hear the bill. And we'll try and have some discussions over the next several weeks about, what, if anything, needs to be done differently.
Let me just ask you this: how does that affect projects, that were in the STIP or projects that we were anticipating being able to do with that money?
Good. So, Mr. Chairman, that's a perfect segue into the next section. What happened when that bill was in the House? It was about 188 million, for transportation projects, and when the House passed the bonding bill, then they took out that money mostly, and assumed that we would then use our bonding to get a lot of our construction done. And so in the Senate, they did add a little bit of money for maintenance at 65 million, but there was no construction money added. So this is the first time, I believe, going back to 2019, that DOT doesn't have any construction money from the legislature. And so it does, it's chilling. Even the 65 million in maintenance, 10 per district, might be 3 projects at best for our transportation districts. And so it's a big blow to the projects that we need to get done. Over the course of last year, we talked about $1.4 million in projects, $1.4 billion in projects that served as kind of that backbone for our bonding bill. And so it puts all of those projects really at a standstill for either federal grants or for us to work through federal targets on that funding. So just to kind of recap what did come through in House Bill 2 in Transportation Section 11, there was about $16.5 million for rural air service enhancement with special provisions for Las Cruces and Gallup municipal airports. It's $12 million for equipment, the $65 million for maintenance. There was $50 million appropriated for wildlife corridors, $8 million for beautification, and a $38 million one-time infusion to the Transportation Project Fund. There were also some other things in House Bill 2. One was it redirected a 2021 appropriation for wildlife corridors to also be used for rural air service. And then in House Bill 2, they also attempted to add local projects to our bonding, our STB bonding that we got allocated last year. And it wanted to add a couple of projects like Pinon Hills and Paseo de Volcan. And it also asked that the district prioritize Las Lunas Interchange project. So just kind of a note there, we were informed that of the $320 million that we were appropriated last year, the legislature over-authorized to the tune of $93 million. So we had 320 minus $93 million, so roughly, 130 million. We've actually, or 230, we actually already sold bonds for two projects, about 152 million. And so that leaves us with about $70 million of that 320 that we can use. The language in House Bill 2, we're getting some legal opinions about that, but it looks as though the language they added in House Bill 2 wouldn't authorize us to work on some of those local projects, with the exception of Las Lunas, because Las Lunas was listed in law in 2024. So we to the tune of about $8 million. So I guess just to kind of put things in perspective, not only did we not get any construction money, we didn't get any bonding authority, we have 93 million less from last year. And the need to consider some local projects and what funding is left on our severance tax bonds authority. So that's kind of the gut punch that we walked away from, because I think on the House side, it was very clear that the bonding bill was going to be our resource for major construction, and it isn't anymore. I will share too that we did get some capital outlay funding. We got an additional $20 million for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And for the first time in years and years and years, I don't know if anybody remembers how far back, we did get $6 million to do upgrades to our patrol yards across the state, which is something we've been fighting for a really long time. And I want to thank the D5 patrol supervisors that attended our capital outlay hearing. They really painted a picture of how in need we are of some work. And then as you shared, Mr. Chairman, earlier, House Bill 2 also did provide for that 4% pay increase for non-probationary employees. I did want to, thank a number of people, Representative Lundstrom, who's here in particular. She was one of 5 members who sponsored House Bill 145, our bonding bill, along with Chairman Small, with Majority Whip Hockman Vigil, Chairman De La Cruz, and Representative Brown. And then, of course, we want to thank Senator Gonzalez for his work on the speed cam bill. The senior managers, you all know you're all integral to our lobbying efforts. I want to thank the senior managers at DOT who helped with that. Stephanie Nemeth and our general counsel office for coordinating and getting bill analysis done. It was big for us. I want to thank the teams, in particular Christine and Amy, who made sure that Transportation and Breaking Bad Habits Day went really well at the legislature. Jim and Dan Lewis, Asphalt Association, Associated Contractors, and their legislative liaisons, Franklin, Mike, for all your guys' help. Rebecca Ruse, the infrastructure advisor for the GOV's office, and Johnny Johnson, he represents the New Mexico Truckers Association, because in that bill, House Bill 145, we were going to generate $70 million from an increase to weight distance tax and an increase to vehicle registration fees, and the weight distance tax increase was going to hit predominantly truckers, and they were supportive of that measure because they knew desperately how much work we needed to put on our roads. And so just kind of what's next for us in light of, the outcomes. I think we're going to need to, and we've talked about this, we're going to need to move towards shifting personnel costs to our federal funding. That's going to be big. We need to relieve some of the pressure that's being placed on the state road fund. We'll need to be extremely selective on our grant writing activities because our match capacity is diminishing over time. I mean, just generally speaking, for every $100 million grant we get, we need $20 million in federal match. And that's becoming very difficult for us to come by. And then we're going to need to prioritize our efforts to reduce our vacancy rate too. You see, like in some districts like Lisa's, District 1, District 2, where the vacancy rates are below 10%. They do a great job with their staff, and what we'll have to do is prioritize how we get other districts to that area within just focusing on key positions only. We're going to have to be highly selective on our support for local projects. One thing that DOT has been able to do is support local-led projects. A community might call and say, hey, we need 400,000 here, 500,000 here, $1 million here to finish this or shore this up. And that's going to get very difficult for us to do. In fact, one thing that I'm considering, Mr. Chairman, is submitting a TPF application, a general one, that would allow for the Office of the Secretary to support local lead projects as those priorities emerge, consistent with the statute for TPF. So we might have some capacity there. And then, of course, we're going to have to spend another year communicating to legislators the need for increased recurring revenues. Which we've been doing for 3 years, at least since I've been here, is talking to the legislature about how the 20% increase to doing construction with flat revenues is really killing us. And so generally speaking, we need $100 million more a year of recurring revenue just to make up for the cost of inflation, just to do the work that we were doing in 2019. And House Bill 145 gave us 70 million of that 100 million. And now we don't have that. And so I think, it's time to tell lawmakers, at least those that are confused about what cash is and what recurring money is it's getting very difficult for us to continue to function under the situation we're in without getting new recurring revenue. And I hear a lot of legislators say, we don't think we should be bonding projects while we have so much cash. Well, that's fine if they can give us cash, which they didn't, but it's also not the long-term plan. This agency needs recurring revenue, and nobody knows for how long the legislature can afford to say, we can give you cash instead of bonding. So recurring revenue is really key. And
there's no guarantee, or there's no at least hope that they're going to give us any cash. I know the session ended. But could there be a special session? I mean, at the way that it's talking down, it's very dire. We have money that's already allocated or appropriated for projects that are going to happen this year, maybe next year. But with the way it stands now, we don't have we get into this is we have our chip seal crews, and we have our heavy maintenance crews, but just to use the chip seal crew as a example, we used to be able to keep all the roads on a 5-year cycle. And then the price of chips went up, the price of oil went up, and then it went to a 7-year cycle. And then we got less money, then it went to an 8-year cycle. So a lot of these roads that we were keeping going are now gone, because we haven't been able to keep up with them, which means, and I'm using that as an analogy to say that some of these projects that are needed, and if they don't get done, are gonna go from, I'm just using numbers, a $10 million project to maybe a $25 million project in the future, because the damage is gonna continue to, the erosion, the damage to the roadways, plus the escalation of construction prices. So it doesn't look very promising. So.
Mr. Chairman, that's exactly the point that we make with lawmakers when they say, well, why are we going to be paying back for bonds? And we say, well, it's the same difference. When you push a project down the road 4 years, well, you're paying for it in interest, you're paying for it in cost escalation. or you're paying for it in increased damage, right, to the subsurface of a road. And so those are the things that the talking points exactly that I think our engineers are able to bring to the table. But, for us, it isn't, for a lack of ideas. I think the DOT came to the table with really good ideas, a really good bill, with really good projects and a really good strategy with the governor's support of increasing our recurring revenues. And we just feel that at least on, the Senate floor side of things, that we didn't have an opportunity for any of that to materialize. I think all we were asking for was an opportunity for that bill to be debated and heard, and to see if the support that legislators demonstrate and speak about throughout the year would have materialized in that kind of new revenue for us. But
and then the other question I have, which you might not have the answer to because I think it's still early in the game, and our partners from FHWA aren't here. I don't know what, with the new administration there, I don't know how that's going to affect our federal funding because, as I said earlier, interstate, we depend on federal funding for interstates, structured bridges, and stuff of that nature. And I don't know if it looks like they're cutting everything, so I don't even know how that's going to impact us.
All right, Mr. Chairman. So far, it's been kind of a throw it at the wall and see what sticks with federal funding. The last big measure was, of course, a hit to NEVI allocations, and Steve has done a really good job researching case law about our belief, of course, that Congress has appropriated NEVI funding and that the apportionment, that it's essentially allocated through a federal apportionment subject to the approval of our NEVI plan, which was done. It was the first plan approved in the nation. And so we believe we have, a legal basis on our side to receive NEVI funding, but to be sure, there's other programs related to clean fuels, carbon reduction programs, clean energy that we're concerned with, but we haven't seen anything like that occur yet. We've been working well with Federal Highway, and I know Cindy's listening. I want to thank her for, being real nimble and open with us during this time, but we're also waiting for executed grant agreements on more than $300 million in grant awards that we've already received that are being, looked at. And, outside of that, looking at some of the federal approvals, like environmental approvals and clearances that are needing to take place that are slowing down projects, one of which is our bonding project. So it's not to cast a state of panic across the agency as much as it is, I think, to share a point of frustration that, we work really hard, I think, to answer questions about how we make decisions, how we prioritize projects, and how we spend money of how we can sustain ourselves over a period of time, without affecting the state's GO bond, severance tax bond, or sponge.
This sort of put us on cruise control, and what I mean by that is we got to be very cautious and very slow.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the way it looks now, can we hold on till next session?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think
let's say we go into next year. I know there's a lot of people that, some legislators that have projects that they want done in their areas.
No.
District 2, the oil and gas, they're always, tell a project that we had now estimated to go at $30 million is going to be 45 million, which means it's going to be less projects and more money rather than more projects and the money.
38 million, that'll bring it out to about 98 million. I think 98 million, 16 million a district, something like that, backing out some match, probably like 15.5 million for local projects, which is good.
So that would be divided, not exactly because it never is, but divided by 6, the 90 million.
Yeah, about 15.5 million.
This is where entities and villages and tribes and all that they can apply for this money. And again, how you can apply for that money and those projects go in, because that's our way. I get calls all the time, as the secretary said earlier, we have a project, you think you could give us a little money? And I said, the only way we can help you, because right now we're struggling just to keep our own roads afloat. So Thanks for that. Thanks for that. And so that'll.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, and that's pretty much it. I do want to thank, I know Mark is here, he's going to present. I want to thank Mark. He was very available to us, as, you know, I think even we put him to work on some Saturdays and Sundays to get us information. I want to thank Mark too. But it was a good team effort. I think we really just, you know, we're hopeful that, you know, again, over the next year, whatever points weren't hit, we can hit them again. But we cannot wait for, you know, we can't wait for the same day the budget bill is being passed to have a discussion about whether or not there's enough cash to give us. It's too late for that. And so we lose on principle every time. So, well, with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll stand and answer any questions. To end on a positive note, I know we had the pavement press conference this year. And so I want to kind of do a shout out for D2, Francisco. I think your team took state, and then Aaron. You know, not that anybody worries about who didn't win first place, but Aaron got runner-up over there in the pavement press conference. And so thank you guys. You work under extreme conditions, and appreciate the work that you all do, and congratulations to your teams.
Is it pretty much like I used to a couple years ago? The only one that doesn't participate is District 3 because they only do asphalt. I don't know if they're doing chip sealing now. They're still not. And then the other thing is District 6 does asphalt too. And I don't know, I think, was it District 2 that was starting up asphalt too? And, okay. Yeah, so that's good. That gives us another resource. Because as we're going now, we might have to do some of our own paving projects, you know, so that's good.
Yeah. Good cruise, but that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any questions from fellow commissioners? If not, thank you, and we'll, as they say in the movies, stay tuned. Now we'll go up to district project and change order updates. Mo.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. In all the districts, there are about 20 change orders. And we wanted to share the information with you all because these have impact on our total budget. And some of these, I think maybe one or two of them, those 20, the list of 20 are non-participating because of, that's not the list, this is a really detailed list. But we have one short version of it, which is one page. He has all the 20 change orders for 3 months. But some of them, if you look at it, it says non-participating. That means we are not using any federal funds. It's all state funds. And those change orders, sometimes they add time to the contract. Sometimes they have establishing new items to the contract. And that's what the change orders are happening. And as a general rule, engineers, district engineers, I know that. I was district engineer. We don't like change orders. We don't like to see change orders because these are extra costs to our jobs. These are really out of our already assigned budget. So we are trying right now very hard to implement new programs. We're still waiting for some Federal Highway Administration to give us their blessing and trying to come up with a constructability review with our partners at the ACNM so they can help us look at the projects because they have the expertise, look at the projects and unit the orders and also reduce the time that we are in some communities because some of our projects taking too much time to finish the projects. And I hope we answered your question.
Commissioner, you have any questions?
I'm good. No, sir.
Commissioner Chenoweth, Commissioner Sanchez, any questions?
So we'll provide for all districts in your packets, and then the district engineer presenting at that commission meeting will go into detail on theirs, but answer them. So Mo, thanks for doing that, and
thank you.
Commissioner McElroy, thanks for requesting the information. If you all interested in seeing additional stuff, just let us know.
Just a few comments on this. I don't think I want to put any of the district engineers on the spot. I remember being in that position, so. What I kind of wanted to highlight was number one, kind of an education for the commission on some of the things that happen on ongoing. I was a district engineer at one time, and I remember being put on the spot with the commission at that time, probably 20 years ago now, 15 years ago, to answer questions regarding some of these change orders. I mean, if you have $1 million change order, somebody's going to want to ask questions about that. It's less money today, but still a lot of money. There's a lot of things that happen on a construction project as you go through a construction project, and a lot of it, you get some of those change orders because maybe you didn't develop the project the way it should have been developed. And I think one of the things that Mo's talking about is going to a constructability review with contractors during the development of a project, kind of asking about, does it make sense how we want to build this project? Does it make sense this is the way we're going to, and get some of their input as we're going along there. But the other thing that I think it's important for all our project managers, our construction engineers, and our district engineers to think about as we have these projects. Because like anything else, what Mo's talking about is probably going to be a slow developing. I mean, as a contractor. And I understand that some contractors are more difficult than others. So a lot of them, some of the smaller contractors don't have the resources. And, that's their fault. But some of our fault is maybe we didn't develop the project the way it should have been developed and address some of the things that are causing some of the problems on the project. So it's kind of a two-way street, and that's the way we need to look at it. I think as our money situation is going to tighten up here in the near future, that's with regard to the large change orders. The other thing is contract time, and Mo kind of talked about it. When you get into a community, it doesn't matter what community it is. It doesn't matter if you're in Roy, New Mexico, or you're in Gallup, New Mexico, or anywhere. That affects people when we're sitting there on Main Street out there, it affects them. And we can't sit back and say it doesn't affect them. So when we get into those communities, we definitely want to develop projects that are well needed to get the job done in the time that's set up for the job. But the other thing too, we need to understand that we need to also think of how we set up the city or county or wherever we're at, and with the contractor as a team to get that job done in the time that's set up. Modeling a house, and you want that contractor out of that kitchen or out of that bathroom as soon as you can. You don't want that inconvenience after a while. You want him to show up. That's the direction that we need to go on in any project, because we're affecting people's lives. We're affecting traffic. We're affecting businesses, and we need to be cognizant of that. At the same time, we also need to be cognizant of these, and we need to respect that perspective. And they also need to respect us too, because we're in there to assure that the project is being built according to the specifications and the contract. So, that's just, I'm hoping, I think these forums, we kind of probably need to work on it a little bit more. And, I'll lend my efforts to do that, along with the construction bureau or the districts for that matter. But I mean, this is kind of the first stab at it, but I think this is important that we highlight this at all commission meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you. Questions? With that, we thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to go ahead and take pictures. Lisa, if I have two quick ones, and we take pictures because I don't want to hold them back either. Okay, that means you guys can get more pastries. Okay, hey, maybe somebody will send for pizza or something. I don't know. go ahead and move on to communication update.
Yeah. You guys load in. Commissioner Lundstrom, or Commission Chair Adams and Commission members, I did want to say thank you to Jenny. You beat me to the punch, but I did want to recognize that Jenny has been a superstar for the last 14 months, acting as the PIO in District 6. And so Jenny is here. Thank you, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny's been the acting PIO for about 14 months now, while Delane has been out, and she did officially retire. So we are working on that position. But really, Jenny has not missed a step. And really, thank you to Lisa, who's allowed Jenny to join my team in Atlanta for Transcom, who has allowed Jenny to join my weekly staff meetings, has really been supporting District 6 while Delane was out on leave. And I think everyone was very hopeful that Delane would come back to the DOT, but unfortunately she did retire. And so we will move forward with that. We are looking at the position posting and reclassification on that. So hopefully soon, and we'll go on from there. But really in the interim, I could not be more grateful for Jenny's efforts. So I think D6 has definitely been represented and highlighted very well because of Jenny. So thank you. Yes. So with that, I will give a quick overview of communication and what we've been up to over the last few months since the last time we were here. Obviously, DOT comms is connecting our communities and sharing our story with people across the state. As I mentioned previously, the communications team keeps the public informed through announcements, newsletters, media inquiries, social media, constituent concerns, multimedia, and of course, NM Roads. And we work closely with the employees of our department to highlight their accomplishments and the work that they complete on a daily basis. As a quick highlight for this specific presentation, we continue to increase the overall awareness of the DOT, and I have some stats that I'll share with you all. Also, do a quick overview. We held the second annual Name a Snowplow contest. We've launched a series of billboard campaigns across the state. We also, at the request of Chairman Adams and Cabinet Secretary Cerna, launched a zipper merge awareness campaign, and we utilized some previous materials, so also grateful for that work. And then we have increased our social media following, engagements, and presence, and I'll share some of what we've been doing with that. So just a high-level overview. We do have weekly communication team meetings, and these have been very helpful to kind of know what is going on in each district every single week. At the request of Chairman Adams, we've met with 4 of the 6 commissioners across the state. We have one pending with our new commissioner in District 1 for April 16th during the Safety and Service Awards. And then once we have the PIO position situated, we'll meet with Commissioner Lundstrom. And then just a few kind of highlights. I think everybody at DOT who has email gets announcements. Obviously, if you're in a district, you also get your district-specific announcements. And then our statewide announcements are posted on our website and our social media. The commissioners, I hope you've also become accustomed to receiving emails about when DOT is in the news.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I think it was last week, I was headed to Albuquerque, and they closed the road between Santa Fe and Albuquerque, I-25, both lanes, due to blowing winds. And I didn't get I never got a notification. And what happens is in Las Vegas and in Mora, or the areas that I represent, everybody has my number. So they start calling me, and I wasn't aware of it. I was actually headed to a doctor's appointment. And so those are like some of the things, like, you know, like you said there in your thing that we're sending out. And so we just have to figure out to make sure. And then I know that it's, a lot of times it's on NM roads, okay? but I'm one of those guys that don't get on NM roads. I'm not, and I think I represent a lot of the people that are traveling the roads that aren't like the younger generation it's all technology. And maybe the people my age and older, some of them don't even have smartphones. I mean, I at least have a smartphone, but I don't get on this. So as a commissioner, and I think these commissioners, I think I mean, I don't know who gives it. That's up to you guys or how it comes. But I would like to know that the interstate closed down. Not everything, just big. That's a big thing when the interstate closes down, because I had some people that had gone to a doctor's appointment in Albuquerque, and then they didn't know and they couldn't get back. So now they're asking, when is it gonna open? And a lot of times we don't have that information, but we can at least say it's closed due to so and so. And I mean, it's not, they'll open it when they open it. So it's improving that kind of communication.
Absolutely, and we did implement about 3 months ago, Mo, some new text distributions that are district specific, and so there might have been a lapse because you were in District 4. Maybe we just need to add you to every single district so that it doesn't matter where in the state a road is closed. You're aware of it, but I think,
What I was thinking is like, if something happens in D3 and it's affecting, I mean, let's just say there's a closure, I think it should just go out, there's a closure, should just go out to all commissioners. If it's in District 5, maybe it's the District 5 PIO, send it to all the commissioners. If it's in District 4, send it to all the commissioners. And like I said, not every little thing, because not every little thing, it's the major things, but like if you close down an interstate, that's major, you know? And sometimes it happens because there was an accident, it happens because of other things, but.
absolutely. I'll coordinate with Secretary Cerna on that to make sure that we add you and the other commissioners to everybody's district distribution.
The secretary was updating me on those closures, but I think he was at the legislature and he was busy up there. So at that point, somebody else can carry the torch.
Yes. And maybe we can work on that. Mo. Perfect. I'll move on to all of the other work we're doing. As I mentioned, we did the Name a Snowplow contest for the second year. A huge success. Again, we've heard amazing feedback on this. So in District 6, we have Zia Later Snow and Enchilada. A few highlights. Obviously, we received almost 700 submissions, and we had countless. As part of a larger project, we have created a style and branding guide, and Matthew Hunt in our communication team has been instrumental in this development. So here's a quick screenshot. He also did a one-page style guide for our entire department to reference. We worked with our new, we're working on a new outstanding employee logo for our ERP winners, which is just a better representation of their outstanding employee status. So we have these on order and they'll be rolled out by the next meeting. This is something we're really proud of. The PIOs came together to talk about this. We met with different staff members across patrols and previous recipient winners, and they all really felt like this logo just better represented what they were being recognized for. And then, as I mentioned, we did run a zipper merge awareness campaign. It's still ongoing. We were able to leverage the zipper merge videos from our previous communication team, which were really great. We also added some billboards. So we have campaigns. These numbers are a little dated, but about 2 million impressions on billboards and screens. We also utilized Hutton Screens, which are a marketing firm that has video across the state. And then, let's see, Marge, can you press play on that for me? This is just a quick video, kind of culmination of what we're running on social media and on our Hutton Screens, and this was developed by our communication team, helping educate drivers on how to do the zipper merge. And again, this is just kind of a quick video that Miguel put together. And I will note, these don't have audio. A lot of the screens that we utilize, they run in restaurants, they run in local places of business, and so they don't have audio, and Miguel was able to add in some other, although I do really like the Mario Kart check on these. These are educational videos that we're running. I will say it's a little more obvious in these videos that people really struggle with the zipper merge concept, so we're working on that. Yeah. Clear visual. So, thanks, Miguel, for that. And then I'll move on for quick media analytics. I always include these numbers because I think numbers don't lie. And so our posts to date this year, we've reached 6.5 million people. So I know, I apologize, Commissioner, we didn't get a text message to you, but these are really awesome numbers that I think are showing that people are following DOT. They're coming to not just NM roads, but to social media for information. And we did have a post recently that reached over 1 million, and that was our I-10 lane and bridge closure when we had the excavator take out our bridge. So we had a lot going on there. These are just a couple examples of things that we're promoting continuously on our social media. Something that we recently started with the help of the PIOs is 1 day a week. We actually highlight a specific district and then patrol projects or district projects, which has been really well received. I think a lot of people like to see what's going on in their district, but also for our employees who are able to see that. We've also been promoting NM roads quite a bit on social media to create awareness. And we are working right now on signs that will be posted along the highways, letting people know that they can go to NM roads for information. So just a quick side-by-side. I was not here in 2023, but I did include it for context. So in 2024, we reached 1.2 million people. We had over 62,000 interactions, 117,000 unique visits, and we increased our following by 6.9 thousand people. I know we're only in March right now, but I do think it's noteworthy that we've already doubled every single number to date. So really, when you look at that, just in the last, 15, 16 months, we've reached over 3 million people on our social media. And something that I want to highlight on this is that they're unique visitors, so they're people that are coming to us for the first time to seek information. And we're really tapping into the fact that a lot of individuals are going to our social media for education about campaigns and interactions. So as I mentioned, we're 3 months in on 2025, but 63,000 interactions, 69,000 visits, and we've picked up an additional almost 6,000 followers this year. So just a quick overview. If anyone has any questions about our reach.
The only other question I had, and I actually took it up with Travis, was during that big snowstorm that we had, and that was a huge one, the NM roads wasn't being updated. And so I talked to him, but he says that in the meantime, you've all gotten together and straightened that out.
Yes, absolutely. I think the very first snowstorm of the season was actually ended up being our kind of biggest snowstorm. Really helped pave the way for a lot of the protocols that my team has developed since then on updates and backup and just making sure we're really current. We actually will be announcing also, I believe next week, our new NM Roads app and also our reporting potholes and litter app for the public as well. So definitely working hard. The PIOs and teams within their districts do a phenomenal job of trying to keep everything updated, making sure that they're accurate in the information they're pushing out to the community. And we really are leaning on NM Roads to help people feel like they know what is going on when they're on the road and they come up to a construction zone or they come up to a substantial backup. But we also will absolutely work to make sure that the commission is aware of closures across the state.
Is there any other questions or comments from fellow commissioners? I would just ask that as soon as possible, and I know you're in the process, that as soon as you do select a PIO, that you get together and come down and meet with Commissioner Lundstrom, and as soon as you can, get up there and meet with the PIO up in D1 and John and Commissioner McElroy. He just came on board, so that's understandable that.
Yes, he's scheduled for the 16th. So,
okay.
Yes.
So that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
I do have a couple comments, and I guess they're related to the text messaging that you've put together, and executive staff, I guess, is involved in that, along with the district engineer. I was a little surprised when I started getting some of those messages because there was numbers on there that I didn't know who they were. Did a little research on my own. I kind of figured out who everybody was on that text messaging. But a comment I have, and as a past district engineer and having to answer to some of those situations, whether it be a dust storm or snow removal operations or any kind of other emergency, a damaged bridge like we did in Lordsburg with the excavator. Keep in mind the people on that text messaging that we have a district engineer there, and he has resources, and he understands what he needs to do, and he'll direct his people accordingly. We've got people on the ground that have dealt with those situations before and continue to do these situations before, whether it be patrol or special crews, and they'll take control of the traffic control. They'll do the things that they need to do, because that's their job. But my comment is, a lot of times I felt there was inappropriate comments being made by other people on that text messaging. And one of them things was inappropriate language. I don't think we should have that. We have no place for that, especially when we've got executive staff there. The other thing is unnecessary comments. The district engineer has a job to do, and his forces have a job to do. And they're out there eating the snow or eating the cold weather or the dust in the case of District 1. And they handle things appropriately. They know how to handle things. That's their job. It's a tough job sometimes, but that's what they do. And, I think keep that in mind. But we need to be professional in how we do things. And, unnecessary comments, aren't really welcome. As a former district engineer, I never welcome those. And then inappropriate language, anything we put in writing, people can come back and say, well, you said this, and it become a source of lawsuits. So we need to keep that in mind. We need to limit how we do things and let the district engineer do their job. Just a comment.
Thank you so much, and I'll definitely let our district engineer take the lead on that. The groups that we have, the commissioners are not in, so there might be a separate group or chat that was going on that I'm unaware of, but the groups that we are in are just the district engineer, cabinet secretary, deputy cabinet secretaries, and our PIO I'll work maybe with Aaron, our district engineer, to see if there's a different distribution, but you are absolutely correct. Anything in writing is available for IPRA, both via email and text, and so maybe we can just let staff know, Aaron, that that's something they should be aware of.
Well, the group that I'm talking about was executive staff and the transportation commissioner. There was nobody else.
Okay.
Nobody else in that group other than that. So there's a group of 6 or 7 people, including Aaron and the PIO at District 1.
Okay.
So
I'll double check that chat. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? If not, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Take a 15-minute break, and we'll take the pictures. We'll take the pictures now.
You want to take them now?
Yeah. I don't see Mallory here.
Yeah, I don't think she's here today.
Okay.
She let us know that she wouldn't make it. That's a bad sign when your ASD director doesn't show up to the audit presentation.
There you go.
Can you get sent over to us with a PDF with the agenda?
That's fine.
I have it on my screen.
I have it here too. Yeah, I think you all have the same thing we do. We're getting there.
I think it starts off with purpose and scope.
Got it.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, we can, while they pull that up. Thank you there. And yeah, just go ahead. Okay.
I'll just scroll along with you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, thank you. Okay, well.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, well, good afternoon. It's gonna be afternoon at this point. Well, we know everybody's hungry, so we'll try keeping it short and sweet for you. Go over the main highlights. But first, just wanted to say thank you to NMDOT, to the finance team. Also to the consultants, Romero and Weiner, for their assistance during the audit, program staff, engineers, for all their assistance throughout our audit. I'm here today to go over the results. It's actually for our 2024 audit. So on the initial slide, there was a slight typo. It said 2023, but it's for our fiscal year 2024 is the fiscal year that we were auditing. So gonna go over the results. First, want to go over the just a few things, stats wise before I kind of get into the purpose and scope of the audit. The department has had increased activity over the various years. So fiscal year 2024. There was a lot more federal expenditures than what was in fiscal year 23. So there was an additional program tested in 2024 versus 2023. Just more revenues, more expenditures going on during the fiscal year. So a lot goes into the audit. It's pretty much an annual process. I mean, it starts up in May, and it goes out until we issue our reports out in December or November. I'm sorry, but we still have to go through a process of getting it reviewed by the state auditor's office, and then ultimately it gets finalized and authorized for release. And so that, we're here in March now doing the presentation, and then we'll be kind of starting up the next fiscal year audit. So it's kind of an annual process. A lot of hours go into it. The DOT staff put a lot of time into getting us documents throughout the audit. I think over this last year's audit, I think there was about over 1,700 documents, ultimately provided over to us during the audit. So lots of audits, lots of documents, and lots of hours. Our team spends about over 1,400 hours the year doing the test work. So it's a big audit, and a lot of time from the DOT staff as well, and efforts. So very appreciated. So with that, the purpose of our presentation today is to present the results in the in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. And where the scope of the audit was for fiscal year 24, it included the financial statement audit. Also, our audit is performed in accordance with the government auditing standards. And we also perform our audit in accordance with the uniform guidance, which is the federal requirements. Okay, and then the financial statement audit, audit and federal award audits are complete for fiscal year ended June 30th, 24. Again, our audit was conducted in accordance with all the professional standards, U.S. generally accepted auditing standards, mentioned the government auditing standards, the uniform guidance, and then also in accordance with the New Mexico State audit rule. Objective of our audit, it's always to obtain reasonable but not absolute assurance. So even though we looked over several documents and go through testing of all the financial statement areas and the programs, we're not looking at 100% of the documents and looking at 100% of the activities. We're taking a risk-based approach during our audit, and we're providing assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error. Okay. Happy to report that we've issued unmodified opinions on the financial statements and major federal program compliance for the fiscal year 24. That's the highest level of assurance we can give as auditors. So you also hear that as a clean opinion. The financials were reported in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The New Mexico Office of State Auditor has approved and authorized the release of the reports. They did that on January 31st, 2025. That's why typically we usually do this presentation over in January, but the time for the review process on the OSA side put it past that January meeting. And so that's why we're out here on the second meeting to present the results, because the reports have been were released on the 31st. The audit reports, they're available on the NMOSA website. And the reports also have been submitted over to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse, which is required to be done in accordance with the federal reporting requirements. So all of the reports were submitted on time and in accordance with the standards. And with that, I'm gonna kick it over here to Ethan, who is the manager on the engagement. And he's gonna go over our report on internal controls over financial reporting.
Thanks, Stephen, and once again, thank you, Cabinet Secretary and members of the Commission. So, this slide on the right side kind of just break out the three types of internal control matters that we can identify as auditors. And to Stephen's point, he mentioned we obtain absolute assurance during the audit, and so as part of that, we do a risk assessment. We apply a lot of auditor judgment. So these three levels are based a lot on our auditor judgment on both qualitative and quantitative factors. And so the least severe deficiency in internal control is just when a deficiency exists that wouldn't allow management to prevent or detect a misstatement on a timely basis. The next two is more getting into like reasonably possible territory. If we feel, based on our auditor judgment, that it is reasonably possible that the deficiency isn't going to be caught, then a deficiency matter would fall under those. Just the last one, material weakness, that's where we, based on, again, quantitative and qualitative factors, if a misstatement, we felt it was going to end up being a material misstatement, thus potentially affecting the reader's opinion on the financial statements, then that's when we would determine it to be a material weakness. And so, you don't ever want that. Next slide, please. And so, happy to report no material weaknesses and no significant deficiencies reported. Next, there were two findings related to non-compliance with the state audit rule. So the first one was an issue with the use of the state-issued fuel cards. There's just a few transactions that we saw that the mileage wasn't being recorded correctly when a purchase was made. And then the second finding relating to Public Employees Retirement Act. So an instance of just inaccurate recording of, inaccurate determination of an eligible employee that should have been receiving benefits. And so, yeah, those are the two NMOSA findings. Any questions over those before I move on?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Thank you. I was in state government for lots and lots of years. This gas card and all this and that, that's pretty routine audit finding, isn't it? I mean, it's not like it's not routine how many times do we find this?
Yeah, it is. So you can see right there, it says 2024-001 and then the parentheses 2023. That's because it is a repeat finding from the prior year.
Okay.
And so the department did improve. As I remember, in 2023, I think there was like 9 instances that we found of just like improper mileage.
Okay, yeah, for the millions of miles these guys drive, I don't think that's a bad batting average there. If you look at my analogy, it's not too bad. And
On to single audit, so uniform guidance, as Stephen mentioned, this has to do with the audit of the federal programs. So there were 5 major programs tested. Can you scroll down a little bit on the slide, please? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, so you can see those 5. That's that top one, highway planning and construction. That accounts for about 90% of DOT's federal revenues, usually every year. So that's always a major program that we have to test just to obtain that coverage. And then highway safety cluster, coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, aka the American Rescue Plan Act, environmental remediation and waste processing and disposal, and then that last one, disaster grant public assistance. That one, Stephen mentioned, there were a lot of documents shared between DOT and us, and that disaster grant that one led to a lot of those documents. It had to do with the Hermit's Peak fires, and so the federal assistance that was received for those ended up being a lot of our single audit. Okay, and on the next slide, you'll see, happy to report, also no findings related to any of those programs. And then this summary of audit results. So, the types of deficiencies, you can see there have been no significant deficiencies in the past 3 audits. No control deficiencies over financial reporting. Pretty much the only findings that have been there the last 3 years have been NMSA 1978, so the state auditor findings this year, the PERA and the fuel cards. Last year it was the fuel cards, and then I think 2022 was also the fuel cards. And then other communications. So no other matters significant to the oversight of DOT's financial reporting process that we haven't previously communicated to you guys, to governance. There were throughout the audit, and then at the end, we received various representations from what we have requested and obtained from management in the form of a written letter. So pretty much just stating that whatever they have provided to us, they believe to be the correct items, and just to the best of their knowledge, it's accurate. And then lastly, our engagement letter describes our responsibilities in accordance with the professional standards with regard to our independence and the performance of our services. And real quick, any questions on the single audit and any of those major programs? Okay, I'll kick it back to Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. So yeah, this next one, I'm just going to go through some financial statement highlights just to give you an overview of the financial position of DOT from just kind of a high level graph format. This first chart to the left, the first bar graphs, that's the assets and deferred outflows. So the assets of DOT has increased from 2023 to 2024 by about 400 million. That's primarily capital assets. So as infrastructure is put on, that's going to increase the capital assets. They are depreciated, so that gets offset by the depreciation. But overall, the net impact was about 300 million of new, for capital assets. Cash also increased as well, about 172 million, which was an increase mainly due to special appropriations that were provided, and so that's sitting over with SGFIP. Then, so you can see assets going up. On the next bar graph is the debt, is the liability side of things. Liabilities have been going down, from 1.4 billion in 2022 to 1.2 billion in 23, down to 1 billion in 24. So that's primarily the debt service payments that are being made on an annual basis. And so the debt funding is getting paid down. So that was about 157 million in debt service payments in 24. That decreased the debt. And then, so the next chart over is, you'll see that the net position of DOT has been going up, and that's primarily because the assets are going up and the debt, the liabilities are going down. So you're seeing, the net effect of that is about a $600 million increase from 23 to FY24. Then on this chart here, so this is just a pie chart that just kind of shows kind of the percentages of revenue for in 24, just to kind of give a picture. So you could see kind of the big line shares, the federal revenues. That was at 595 million in 24. That was up about 112 million in 24 versus 23. The next one is transfers. Those are appropriations that you get from that the department gets from the state. That was at 513 million. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I? What did I? No, I think that's right. No, that's right. I have that right. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this kind of reverse. I apologize about that. Yeah. So the blue, I'm sorry about that, is the federal grants, and I apologize for that. The user and fuel taxes is the purple. Apologize using those colors. So user and fuel taxes is the big one, and that was there for 595. So I apologize. And then federal grants were the second at 513 million, and so that increased by 83. And then charges for services and other, that was the other 511 million. If I'm looking at that, all right. And this, and then so then on the last is the transfers at 177. So with that, we're going over to the budget to actual. And so this just kind of shows the budget to actual. That the original budget is on the left, on the far left, and then what's final budget is in the middle, and then the actual expenditures is in the green. And so you can see that the actual expenditures were below budget, and so that's really what we're looking for as auditors. But you can see that the budget from 2022 to 2024 has been increased in each of the last 3 years, and then expenditures, those have stayed roughly around 1.2 billion, in each of the fiscal years. And again, I think as Secretary mentioned earlier, is that there's, these are long-term projects, so the money gets reauthorized and then put back into the projects. And so it's kind of constant where the budget stays open, and these long-term projects are being developed throughout each year. So with that, That's kind of just a high-level summary of the results. If, I'll take any questions on any of the financial statement highlights or any of the audit results.
Then the gas card and the what was it, the retirement or something they were pulling out?
Yes, sir.
So other than that, there was everything was right on.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chairman. Clean audit. I mean, DOT, really keeps a pretty strong financial reporting system. Has a lot of processes in place for financial reporting.
To thank her and her staff for a job well done, and I've been here 6 years, and just about every year she's had that her and her group have had almost a perfect audit, and so I want to give kudos on behalf of the commission to her, and I wish she was here so we could tell her in person, but that's fine. She'll hear about it, and I want to thank your team because I know you've been working with us. I think this is where was I the last 3? But anyway, I know you guys have come to expectations to where they know what you expect. They know what you're looking for, and they know what to, and you know what to expect. So it's been a good collaboration, and we thank you for your time. Commissioners, is there any other questions, comments? Commissioner Chenoweth, Tanjas, anything?
Sorry, no questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Chenoweth?
She had to jump off for another meeting.
Okay. If there's no other questions, we appreciate it. We appreciate your time. And thanks for being patient for us. We went through a lot today. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commission. And
the record, let it state that, I don't know at what time, but roughly that Commissioner Chenoweth is no longer with us. So, yeah, we just have us 4 and Commissioner Tanjas. No, but you have to state that she's no longer there because she participated earlier, and I just want them to know. But let's move on to one of our favorite guys, Mark.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, Commissioners. I'm going on to page 99. We are currently holding $68.5 million towards your debt service. Obviously, your next debt service payment will be in June. We are also holding almost $189 million of project funds, mostly out of your 21A bonds. The bottom of that page, there was no quarterly fee paid on your line of credit. That will be coming up now in April. Went on to the next page. This will be your next debt service payment on June 15th. You will have a principal payment of almost $82 million with an interest portion of 14.5 for a total of $96.6 million. Overall, for the total fiscal year, you'll be right at about $111 million. On the next page, you'll notice your debt service for the next 7 years, which is an extremely short portfolio, is pretty level at $111 million a year. The only outlier is 27, and that's at $122 million. And
You're happy with the way it's trending, though? Very.
The department is extremely well at pulling down their debt, paying it on time, everything. And your financial audit, believe me, helps with your rating agencies.
Plus, we're going to end up paying it off sooner. So.
You could. It'll be 7 years and you'll be debt free.
Okay.
Very
Is
good.
that it?
That's it.
We're going to move on now to Shannon. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is my remote on my desk to watch.
See, we're not that bad now.
No, that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I'm here to present fiscal year 2025 bar number 17 for the Modal Division. I'm Shannon Glendinning. I'm the Traffic Safety Division Director. The 2025 bar is requested to increase the budget authority and contractual services by $7,580,000 in federal funds. This request is in response to recently awarded funding for the State Electronic Data Collection Grant by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The funds will be used for project activities to advance the state's traffic records program, and it will support project activities including purchasing of equipment to upgrade a statewide crash data repository, adoption of electronic crash reporting by law enforcement agencies, increasing alignment of our crash report to the federal standard for the Model Minimum Uniform Crash Criteria edition. And it's going to help us advance the department's vision for enhanced safety data accessibility among stakeholders, greater data accuracy, and better decision making. So I'm respectfully requesting bar approval.
What was the number? 7 million?
5,080.
5,080. Yeah. Okay. And could you give us a copy of the crash report, the data on the crash report?
Yeah, we recently underwent a.
No, I'm just joking.
I have a 110-page report.
This is your first meeting, so I just wanted to. You did fine. You did great.
Thank you.
Fellow commissioners, what is the recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve bar 17.
Okay, I'll get ready for a recommendation from the secretary.
Oh, great. Absolutely recommend approval. Just question, Shannon, are we able to execute this grant agreement at this time?
We have already had a kickoff meeting and we were able to start about a month ago.
That's
once
great.
this is
Perfect.
approved.
Yep, recommend approval. Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, you had a chance to review bar number 17, 2024 State Electronic Data Collection Grant for 7,500,080. And I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Taylor.
I second that motion.
Second by Commissioner Lundstrom. Roll call, because we still have Commissioner Tonjes.
Commissioner McCoy?
Yes.
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundstrom?
Yes.
Commissioner Tonjes?
Yes.
It carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
And come back again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Next, we're gonna go on to bar number 8, Administration, Section 5339 and 5307. Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm good. How is everybody?
Good, good.
Now that I have my glasses on, I can't really see that. In the modal division, we are requesting this bar to increase the budget authority in federal grants and services, which is category 400 for the Transit Bureau, in the amount of $2,053,07 funds that will be passed through to the North Central Regional Transit District and the South Central Regional Transit District to support bus purchases and operating costs. The local $1,015.
Okay, is there any questions from fellow commissioners? You've all had a chance to review it. What is the recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, recommend approval of bar 18.
We have a recommendation by the secretary. Do I have a motion to approve bar number 18, Federal Transit Administration, Section 5339 and 5307 for $2,164,015?
Motion for approval?
Okay, we have a motion for approval by Commissioner McElroy. We have a second by Commissioner Lundstrom. Roll call.
Commissioner McElroy?
Yes.
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor? Yes. Commissioner Lundstrom?
Yes.
Commissioner Tonjes?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you all so much.
Bar number 19, Roswell International Air Center, Daniel Moran. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Chairman.
How you doing?
Doing good,
Welcome.
thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Secretary, the Aviation Division is requesting a bar to increase the budget authority for our FY25 budget by $5 million. Excuse me. To construct a parallel taxiway to runway 1735 at the Roswell International Air Center. This project will support the city of Roswell in providing essential infrastructure improvements that will benefit the upcoming Roswell air races and improve the general aviation operations at the airport. We ask the commission's approval for this.
Recommendation.
Mr. Chair, recommend approval of bar 19.
Well, Commissioners, you had a chance to review it. What is the pleasure of this commission? Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion with 19.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lundstrom for
I'll
bar
second that.
number 19 to increase $5 million the Roswell. I jumped the gun on you, sorry about that. Request to enter into a road transfer agreement with the city of Sunland Park.
Chairman Adams, Commissioners, good morning. This request is to enter into a road transfer agreement with the City of Sunland Park for FL 6301 Sunland Park Drive, NMDOT Right-of-Way Bureau Property Management Unit. We received a request from the City of Sunland Park to enter into this road transfer. The transfer involves conveying jurisdiction and maintenance responsibilities for FL 6301 Sunland Park Drive to the City of Sunland Park. It's a total distance of 1.12 miles. This proposed transfer will reduce department maintenance responsibility. This request was presented for discussion at the November 2024 Commission meeting. So at this time, the action request is for approval of the road transfer.
We're always anxious to get rid of roads, especially with our budget. So you've had a chance to review it, Commissioner. You're aware of that road transfer. So what is the recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of this transfer.
Do I have a motion of 1.2 miles?
Move for approval.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner McElroy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Taylor.
Taylor?
Yep.
Commissioner Lundstrom?
Yes.
Commissioner Tonjes?
Yes.
Carries unanimously. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Next, we have the dedication of South Las Vegas Interchange number 343 on Interstate 25 as the Felix R. Varela Veterans Memorial Interchange. Adam.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. So the proposal I'm presenting on today is to dedicate the I-25 exit 343 interchange in Las Vegas. It's the South Las Vegas interchange. It's the one that's in front of the District 4 office. We want to dedicate it as the Felix R. Varela Veterans Memorial Interchange. Felix was a Vietnam veteran. He passed away in 1986 at the age of 38. Today I have some special guests with me. I have Felix's son, Mr. Alfonso Varela, and I have Felix's wife, Miss Lorraine Rivera. We also have with us Lorraine's current husband, Mr. Ronald Rivera, with us here today. They made the trip from the Albuquerque area. Mr. Alfonso here, he's going to read a little background on Felix.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for having us here today. To honor and memorize the contributions of my father, Felix R. Varela, the Vietnam Veterans of America, Northeast Chapter 1063 of City of Las Vegas, initiated a request to name South Las Vegas Interchange 343 on Interstate 25, including bridges 7332 on Interstate 25 northbound and 7333 southbound, located in the city of Las Vegas, San Miguel County, in honor of Felix R. Varela. Felix R. Varela was a native New Mexican born on June 29, 1947. He was drafted into the United States Army on December 15, 1966. And on March 26, 1968, he distinguished himself by exceptional valorous actions while serving with the Sea Battery 6th Battalion, 29th Artillery, 4th Infantry Division Artillery, 4th Infantry Division in the Republic of Vietnam. His actions were distinguished in General Orders 3454, July 18, 1968, with the receipt of the Distinguished Service Cross, the second highest medal. The proposed resolution dedicates South Las Vegas Interchange 343 on Interstate 25 as the Felix R. Varela Veterans Memorial Interchange to honor and memorialize the contributions of Felix R. Varela and the contributions of all veterans of San Miguel County. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and on behalf of this commission, we want to thank your father for his service and what he did, and Adam, it's gone through the whole process with Stephanie and everything, and she has recommended it, and so Secretary, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Adam. I want to thank Stephanie for your patience. I know we brought this as informational for the commission before, so recommend that we approve this request to memorialize this segment of I-25.
You heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion for the dedication of South Las Vegas Interchange, number 343 on Interstate 25 as the Felix R. Varela Veterans Memorial Interchange?
Move for approval.
I have a motion for approval from Commissioner McElroy.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Taylor. Roll call.
Can I?
It's that,
We're switching spots here.
yeah.
Commissioner McElroy,
Yes.
Chairman Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Lundstrom,
Yes.
Commissioner Tonjes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. It is now going to be called the Felix R. Varela Veterans Memorial Interchange. Adam, if it's possible, when's our meeting we have a commission meeting in July?
July, yes.
It's in July, okay.
Mora.
So if you could schedule it maybe the day before, whatever's convenient for the family and schedules. And maybe we can do that dedication there, and if we can't, if it's not possible, let's try to get it scheduled as quick as possible.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for your time.
Thank you. With that, is there any other business or anyone else to come before this Transportation Commission?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one thing from District 1. I believe in December, the various districts, other than the other 5 districts, approved commission meeting locations for their district, the exception being District 1. And since I became commissioner and visiting with Aaron and visiting with communities down near the one end of our state there, the border area near Sunland Park, there's a lot of interest, a lot of excitement, I guess, that they're ready and willing to host a State Transportation Commission meeting in Sunland Park. And so I guess I bring that up for discussion now, and a recommendation and a request for approval, or to be set up for approval next month at the May Commission meeting in Cloudcroft, I believe, to approve the Sunland Park as a location for the commission meeting in the fall for District 1.
Okay, we can't vote on it today, as you know, because it's not on there as an action item, but if we can place it on the agenda for our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a long ways from Farmington.
Hey, yeah. I thought you had a plane.
No, I keep it on the ground now.
Oh, okay.
That's a long ways to come to Gallup from.
With that, is there any other business? Oh, before I forget, there was a bill before the legislature that was moving quick. I don't know, and I didn't get any information on it. It was for the approval of the, what is it, the ATVs, yeah, and they were they had passed it, I think, in the House, and they wanted to give it, take it away from the Transportation Commission, give it to the entities. Did it pass?
No.
Okay, so that means, and the reason I bring it up is because right now we're getting requests from Angel Fire, we're getting requests from Pecos, and I know some other places. And I just want to reiterate here, which we all know, is that we have a process that they need to follow, and it has to meet certain criteria. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, then we can't approve it, correct?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, you're absolutely right. And I think one of the main things that did not come from that bill was the fact that they didn't even mention or have any mention of a safety analysis or, looking at the geometry of the roadway. And I think that's very important, in just eliminating that piece of it is really, I think, is a detriment to the traveling public. So you're absolutely right. We got to make sure that we look at all those little things and make sure that if we allow them on our roads, that it's going to be done safely. Absolutely.
That was my concern. And I said, but I mean, what, if it passes, it passes. But
Right.
my main concern is, what yours is that every time we do it, we always do a traffic study and traffic counts and the whole thing that comes with that traffic study. But my concern still was, okay, if they turn it over and they don't do these traffic studies and there is an accident on our road, are we still, we're still gonna be a party to the liability?
100%.
So that was my whole thing, so we don't have to worry about that, it stayed with us, right?
Correct.
So we still have to worry about it because we're getting requests, but, just so that everybody knows, if you get a call in your district, they have to, go file this thing and it has to meet the criteria. And if it doesn't meet the criteria, then we just can't allow it. We have a request from a county right now that ranchers use it and they want to use it and it's a legitimate thing, but it doesn't meet the criteria. So, with that, is there any other business to come before this Transportation Commission? Commissioner Taylor, you better start headed to Sunland Park now. Don't worry about going home.
Yeah, I'll just walk.
So with that, everybody have a safe trip home. Do I have a motion for adjournment of this meeting at approximately 12:41?
I make a motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lundstrom,
Second.
second by Commissioner McElroy. Can I get the roll call?
Commissioner McElroy,
Yes.
Chairman Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
I guess so.
Commissioner Lundstrom,
It's unanimous. We're now adjourned. And before commissioners leave, there's have them sign this. Have them sign this before they leave. That was for the bridge dedication.
I caught you chasing me at 92, officer.
That's a good one. Slow it down a little bit.
I did the opposite the last time I got pulled over on 925. I was in my old Concord, just old Camry community. You need us to sign something? I got you going 84 and this thing was going faster than 65.
Yeah.